WIIFTVPM. WIIFTVPM. WIIFTVPM.
TheBlackMall.com and Black Coin presents Buy Black Weekend, November 27th through the 30th, making it easy for you to buy black with amazing black-owned vendors and business owners. This weekend is jam-packed with Buy Black Friday, Super Black Saturday, Award Sunday, and Black Monday, where we are virtually featuring, awarding, and shopping with the most blacknificent black-owned businesses in the Chicagoland area. And they're going to have crazy holiday deals. Visit TheBlackMall.com today and click on the Buy Black Weekend banner so you can RSVP and stay in the know. You can also become a featured business, but register right away before they're gone. For more information and check out our featured businesses, go to TheBlackMall.com. Buy Black. It's a lifestyle.
Black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, and you're black, and I'm black, y'all.
Maze Jackson.
If you could make up a social media holiday, what would it be?
Randy said National Don't Let No One Put You Down Day.
No one. What you gonna do? So when they say something crazy, you slap them?
Be like May said. Randy said a Jukathon Day.
Man, we about 60 years old. I be done had a heart
You gotta
attack.
get your heart rate up.
Okay, that not that far.
All right, Mario said my favorite one. My friends and I do what we call National Call Off from Work Day.
As a business owner, I don't.
You don't like that, yeah.
I don't like that.
Because I'm the boss of this thing.
We got Marcus Garvey Day from Remy too.
Oh, Marcus Garvey Day. All right, what will we do on Marcus Garvey Day?
Call off from work.
I'm gonna need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. That would be great. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Every black holiday has something to do with calling off from work.
You're cool. I'm out.
How about National Join a Positive Black Organization Day? Because I don't want to be recruiting. I don't want to be recruiting and the brothers be like, thank you. Thank you. How about National Tell White People the Truth Day? Tell them how you really feel.
You can't handle the truth.
Why don't we call that National Black People Get Locked Up Day?
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Hello.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
That's why we shine wherever we go. 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 Lord, Lord. Welcome to the mind of a pothead. On my head, see a young nigga got dressed. We don't give a fuck what the cop said. I'm living a legacy. So even when I die, I am not dead. Nigga, I am not dead. Fuck with me.
Great afternoon to you wonderful people. Welcome to this Monday edition of I Said What I Said. We are live from the beautiful What's In It for the Black People Media Studios. Thank y'all so very, very much for choosing to be a part of the conversation. We truly, truly appreciate each and every one of you. We get together right here, Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. We discuss issues that are impacting the black community, how those things impact us as individuals, and how they impact us as a collective. And along with your help, we talk through many of those issues in hopes of finding the optimum solutions going forward for how we can overcome those issues. Again, overcome them as individuals, but perhaps more importantly, overcome them as a collective. Thank y'all so very, very much for choosing to be a part of the conversation. As always, your input is valued. It is certainly appreciated. Anything you want to add to the conversation, feel free to leave your perspective in the comments. We'll read through as many of them as possible as we go through. We would also kindly request that you please take a quick moment to share the conversation. Smash that share button. That's right, son. Shout out to Gino, man. Smash that share button, man. Click the arrow in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen to share the conversation to your personal page. Share it even within your personal network. Anyone, absolutely anyone that you think would add value to or find value in this particular conversation, we welcome them to be a part of the discussion. It is our sincere belief that the more like-minded individuals we can get to be a part of the conversation, the better the opportunities we have of finding the optimum solutions going forward. So please take a quick moment to share the broadcast. Also, if you feel so inclined, you can contribute to the show by clicking on the little gold stars in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. We certainly appreciate each and every one of those. Again, this is I Said What I Said. It is intellectual thuggery at its absolute finest. My name is Herb Howard, alongside my co-host. His name is Toussaint Werner, too. What's happening, good brother?
Well, down, family. I'm blessed and highly favored. How you?
I'm good, man. I'm feeling rested. I'm good. I slept the entire day yesterday. Like, I didn't do nothing yesterday. I came in here in the morning for the kickback with Terrence and Eugene. Shout out to the Bigs, man. We had a good show on the kickback. Shout out to Jerry Azuma, the former Chicago Bears star, came through, fell through the kickback and hung out with us. My boy Young Wayne hung out with us from California as well. Had a good time at the kickback, man. Then I was asleep. Went over my homegirl, Taylor crib, hung out with her and her wife for a minute, and fell asleep on their couch for like 3 hours. Woke up, drove home because they live out west. Live on the west side, so I drove to the crib, got right back in the bed, and I stayed there. I stayed there, man. I woke up probably like 1 o'clock in the morning, eating some tacos that I had got while I was out there with Taylor, and ate the tacos at like 1 o'clock in the morning. Stayed up, watched TV till about 3, fell asleep.
Yeah, I've been under the act too, man. I've been sleeping too, but I'm out here sleeping like a pregnant woman, and I still ain't feeling. I'm not feeling like I'm rested when I wake up.
Yeah.
Starting to get outrageous. Yeah, I just told you before you walked in here, man, I need a nap.
Yeah. Well, man, it's a glorious, glorious Monday outside, man. The weather is still decent. It's still unseasonably warm. I'm still rocking with that. I'm not mad at the unseasonably warm weather, man.
It ain't warm enough though, man. It's cheating. It ain't ride bike warm though. So
that's your only barometer of whether or not it's nice outside. Can I ride my bike?
That's all that matters, man. That's all that matters.
There's no snow. So yes, you can.
Bullshit. That wind get to hit your ass, man. You be freezing out there.
Candace Mack talking about red cups get you every time. We was definitely sipping at the kickback yesterday, man. We were sipping at the kickback yesterday. The Bigs came through here with a case of beer. I came through here with some beers. We sipping that, and who knows what else I put in my red cup, but that's just me at 10 o'clock in the morning. But I was asleep after that. It was a good day, man. I needed the rest. It was good to catch up on it. I'm feeling very, very refreshed, man. I haven't done much of anything today either. I didn't get to the studio particularly early. I was chilling all day today. I'm feeling amazing. Hope y'all feeling good as well. Hope y'all feeling refreshed. Hope y'all had a pretty good weekend and are ready to attack this week, man. This should be a short week for most people. We got the holiday coming up. Thanksgiving is Thursday. So, short week, get through it and move on.
Y'all got something going for Thanksgiving?
Nah, man. My family, we decided in the group family chat to, 86, the usual gathering for Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. And but Lorianne gonna cook anyway. So Lorianne still gonna have food at the crib. And so, I'll eat something. A couple of my cousins might drive through and grab a plate. But nah. It's usually like my brother, his family, they live in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So they ain't finna drive there when we said it ain't cracking like that. My other cousin live out like Joliet. They ain't finna come either. So my cousin Danielle live around the corner, so she'll probably slide and grab some food or something. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna eat it.
Yeah, man.
I told you to come just pull up. Lorianne don't know how to cook a little bit.
I get it.
She gonna cook a lot.
We're gonna do a seafood boil, man. My wife was talking.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Seafood and making some gumbo.
Let's go. We're on the pull up.
Yeah, I don't know about that. She ain't really open the door like that. But
that's okay. Throw it out the window. We don't need to come in.
Yeah, okay, I got you. Put it in the bag and drop it down.
Just hiding
like
in
the old dope spots. You know what I mean?
That's it. Hey, knock on the side window, come to the back, fam. Let's go.
Yeah, so that's happening, man. I'm trying to get Eric here. You know, they got some complications around travel with COVID, so
yeah,
God willing, he'll be able to get here by tomorrow night. Other than that, man, I'm excited to see that little turd, man. I miss that little dude.
I know you do, man. I know you do. That's definitely what's up.
So
man.
I'm excited about that. Then, you know, after about an hour of that, I'm gonna be through with that. It's gonna be back to
right after the introduction. You're gonna be sick of.
All right, I saw you. I'm good.
As soon as he leave a cup laying around, like, damn, ain't nobody left no cups laying around in 2 months.
Man, under that act.
Yeah.
So my wife decides that she's going through this cleaning frenzy the other night.
Okay.
My daughter, oh my God.
What she do?
I'm about to strangle her. Oh, my wife's about to strangle her. I was just laughing at the whole situation. But she is the nastiest, dirtiest little human being on the planet Earth.
Bella?
Bella is nasty dirty, right? So she goes to, my wife forces her to clean up her own room, but, you know, it's not up to her caliber.
Right.
So she starts cleaning up behind her.
Okay.
Bella got cartons of ice cream in the drawers.
In the drawer?
In the drawer.
So wait a minute. That ain't nothing you just left on the side of the bed. That was your attempt of cleaning it up. Like you was like, oh, I ain't gonna take it to the kitchen. Let's just throw it in the demo.
What it probably was she didn't feel like getting a bowl or something. I'm gonna grab the last of this carton. She eats out the carton instead of taking it to the garbage. She puts it in the.
That's what I'm saying.
I said, boy, this is so disrespectful. My old lady was going crazy, but I was in there trying not to laugh. But you know,
that is hilarious. That is hilarious.
Little fat butt.
Well, either way, man, I'm looking forward to. You know, the food. I'm trying to eat it a little bit better, man. Like 3 people I saw this week told me I was losing weight. I was like, yes.
Oh, really?
I didn't know.
You look good.
Well, thanks, Esco. You know, I mean, I'll do what I can. God is.
Yeah, that's some fuck shit.
Favor ain't fair, you know.
None of it work.
Favor ain't fair, man. You know.
I know it ain't fair. It ain't fair.
Can't turn it off.
But I got my green juice, so I'm trying to do my green juice.
Yeah, you've been going strong with it too.
It ain't did nothing, G. But truth be told, I really got to get this surgery because I'm an active guy.
You are.
You know what I mean? And not being active drives me out my damn mind. And I'm not able to be as active as I like to be because I can't move. Like basketball is a part of my life. You know, riding my bike is it's an extension of my life. So just sitting around, I'm going crazy, man. And I ain't just sitting around, but even though, you know, I go to sleep at 2 on a regular.
Yeah.
I go to sleep 2, 3 in the morning and be up by 6. That's like regular for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? But without having that active part of my life, G, I'm going crazy. I'm going stir crazy. Even, you know, add on COVID, add on my hip bothering me. Yeah, I can't do it.
Yeah, you'll do it. You don't like to sit still, man. I'm just charged up. Right? I'm just now trying to, you know, get back to, you know, full strength in terms of being able to walk and run and move around like I like to. So let's get up, let's go, let's do that. Right? A minute ago you was like, man, I left my phone downstairs in the car. I said, I'll go get it, bro.
Yeah,
I'm down to go hit another flight of stairs. Like, I got you, bro.
I got it today.
Let me excited. I couldn't get upstairs for about 5 or 6 months. I got all the stairs you need. Let's go.
Yeah, that sounds like the cocaine diet, man. That's, you know.
No.
Hey, on another note,
don't play with my notes.
Have y'all ever seen the TV show Woke? It's on Hulu.
Yeah, my man, shout out to T Murph, man. My man is in that show. T Murph, the comedian from Chicago.
Is that the one with the beard?
Short dude with the big beard.
Yeah, he got a big role in it too.
T Murph is starring. Yeah, he here, man. We can get him on the show. That's my man.
Yeah, now that you say that makes sense. But they have a roommate, right? And he was always coming up with these deals or new businesses.
Yeah.
He was like, man, I got this new energy drink idea. He's like, and it's great because you save water. You don't. He said it's powder form. And he's showing it to him, and it's just cocaine. He's giving all these attributes of why it's the greatest energy drink in the world. They kept saying, "You mean cocaine?
You mean cocaine?
You mean cocaine?
It's an energy drink, man.
No, it's an energy drink."
Listen, man. Listen, man. I don't judge nobody. Do whatever you want to do, but I don't. If I can't get whatever feeling I'm trying to get, if I can't get it off a shot or two, or maybe hitting a joint or two, I'm not gonna feel it, fam. I'm not playing with my nose. I'm not popping nobody's pills. I'm not shooting those syringes.
I know that ain't the conversation.
Give me a little liquor and
I know
I'm
it's
solid.
Not the conversation today, but the conversation we were supposed to have today is kind of getting pushed back because we had some guests that was gonna come in.
Right, we was gonna talk some real street shit because when you want to talk real street shit with real street niggas, sometimes court pops up on their ass.
Man,
listen.
Hey, shit happens.
We're gonna have that conversation in a real way though.
But in that vein, we make jokes and we laughing about drug usage or whatever. But there is a different kind of connotation with the shorties out here. Like I could remember in my day that there was a distinct difference. Like and I don't know if this is right or wrong. Well, it ain't right, but we shun dope fiends in my community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was no level of adoration for a drug addict.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we used to make fun of them growing up.
Yeah, it was kind of like you hopeless, G. And I'm not saying that's the right thing to do, but it was the mindset of a young teen.
That was the way we looked at drug addicts growing up.
Right, like you was just a waste of useless.
Even though we all had them in our families and everything else in our communities, it was still like
absolutely.
Last thing you want to be is a cluck.
That was the last thing you wanted to be.
Now?
And part of this conversation around the violence that's going on in Chicago, and it ain't even just a Chicago conversation at this point, it's national. But these young boys and girls are legitimately becoming dope fiends before they teenage years is over.
And proud of it. They can't wait to tell you how much lean they sip, how many pills they pop, Adderalls and Xanax and Percocets and
borderline heroin.
Like, fam, nah, fam. Like we used to get the clucks $1 to dance in the street for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
We did.
At least I'm not gonna say I did that publicly. You know what I mean?
I am. We did that.
Okay, salute.
We did that. But I mean, listen, man, we loved our clucks. They were our clucks.
Yeah,
it's
the
funny.
neighborhood clucks.
Yeah, you take ownership over your clucks. These are our clucks. Man.
That's true.
Don't come over here and mess with them. We mess with them.
That's true. Look, shout out to Emmett. Emmett around the crib, man. Emmett works on cars, just like the average cluck.
Why would you put Emmett? Because
I
I said something, I knew Emmett was a cluck.
I love Emmett though. Emmett is like part of the family for everybody.
100%, G. 100%.
I'm gonna give you 2 quick stories on Emmett. One is just when you said we got our own clucks. Right?
Yeah,
I remember
our
distinctly.
clucks.
We was walking down the street one day, and
if you're not from Chicago, cluck is like street term for like drug addict. Like out that bad.
But a random cat was like, man, let me borrow. You know how they be begging on the corner, whatever type of deal. Random dude begged me and my partner for a couple $. And my man stopped him, and it was weird because this moment like caught my attention. And my man was like, well, I look like giving you some money. We got our own dope fiends.
That's a fact.
And I was like, damn. Like,
yes, fam.
It was off the cuff, but, it resonated in a different way with me. One, it resonated that we do value Emmett.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We care about Emmett. Emmett matters to our
matters.
community. You know what I mean?
He matters.
And it wasn't like that was a revelation to me, but it was like to say that out loud, it resonated different. You know what I mean?
Community is community, and it takes on many different forms. It looks a lot of different for different people, but you are a part of this community, no doubt about it.
Absolutely. And I remember another time, and this is just distinctly different about how I was raised versus how my old lady was raised. I was at the crib one day, and Emmett was at my house working on one of my cars, And my children love Emmett's dirty drawers.
Of course. They're great with the kids.
Right. And he loves them, right?
Yes, he
It
does.
is what it is. So I was like, man, I'm finna run my father-in-law somewhere. Emmett, just, make sure the kids don't do nothing crazy.
Right.
So I'm leaving. My father-in-law is not accustomed to this world.
Right.
So he was like, what you doing? You leaving them in the house?
You leaving Emmett with the kids?
He's good, this family. But again, it resonated like, man, he's a drug addict. He's not a criminal. I'm not afraid. He's not, you know what I mean? He's got an addiction.
He's not of any. He's of no threat to us. Right?
Absolutely.
Like he's not a threat. He's just a person who is out here on these drugs, right? But in a real way, we love him. Like
family, man.
He's
family.
family.
We talking about Thanksgiving. Every Thanksgiving, Emmett makes his rounds around all the houses in the neighborhood.
Let's go, and everybody got to play for him.
Everybody feed him, man. It's love out here.
100%, man. That's just it's a part of the community. It is what it is, man. And listen, people are like, you trust him? Hell yeah, I trust him as much as I trust anybody I know.
Mm-hmm.
And because for me, trust ain't about what you will do or what you won't do. It's about what I expect you to do, right? Are you going to do what I expect you to do? And I got some people in my family. I got some clucks in my community that I expect you to steal some shit if the opportunity presents itself, right? I don't distrust you for it. Nigga, why did y'all leave that shit out around such and such? You should have goddamn known it was gonna walk away. I'm not mad and I'm not calling nobody about nothing. You tweaked. Like, I don't trust them. I do. You just tweaked. Mm-hmm. Like, that's really what it is. They word be like whatever, man. I have it's nostalgic. Like they're a part of the community.
Shannon on here talking about Andy from 71st. Every neighborhood got one.
Everybody got one, man. I got one.
Shout out to Bo.
Yeah,
Bo, Andy,
everybody got one.
Know him.
Queen Clucker.
Yeah.
I call her one on 79th and Stony, Queen Clucker. She's the queen, G. She's been there my whole life. Like, she's gonna outlive everybody I know. She's the queen.
That's another thing, G. The hard as their lives are, they do live forever, man.
How you gonna get rid of a cluck, fam?
They live
Everything goes. They don't sleep that much. They don't eat that much, but they just keep living.
They just keep going.
They just keep going and
it's
going.
Another perspective around that too, though, right? It could be that's like the universe's way of providing like purgatory, right? The space between heaven and hell. You know what I mean? Like until you deal with this demon, you're gonna be here dealing with this fucking demon.
Or children and fools. Like that's what God looking out for, right? Like it just is what it is, man. If you can walk down the alley with a floor model TV on your back for 6 blocks, fam, you can do all things.
You can do it.
you can do all things.
Won't
man.
he do it?
I swear. Well, he won't. With some flip flops on, right? Like that's just kind of how it is, man. So make sure y'all take care of your people on Thanksgiving. But nah, man, Woke is definitely a dope show. It's on Hulu. And T Murphy is one of the stars of that show, man. So
yeah, salute to T Murphy, man. Shout out to Chicago actors in general, right? Because Corey Hendricks also is in Fargo, another local cat. He was in The Chi too. You know, a lot of local cats was in The Chi, but he, made the I don't even want to say made the transition. His stars just starting to shine, and he had a major role in Fargo. So salute to Corey. Salute to your brother in the Woke Show too.
Yeah.
Both great shows too. Check them out if you get a chance.
Handling their business. We'll settle that. We get T Murphy on the show. I meant to piggyback off your story talking about we got our own clucks, right? Me and Maze was leaving the studio. We was running over to another spot, and we pull up off the E-way, and this dude just over there, something like other cat, right? And Maze like, nigga, what you doing over here? Like, we got our own clucks. Like, we go back to wherever you came from.
Right, dude?
Yeah. Like,
so I'm gonna give you my daddy's rendition to have that.
Go back to wherever you came from and ask them for money, fam. We don't play that shit.
True story, man. True story. When I was young,
your daddy put you out the house?
When I was young, some white dude was, begging somewhere, and I might have gave him 50 cents, $1. I'm a young kid, though, right? My daddy was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Right.
I was like, "Man, I gave him $1, 50 cents, or whatever it was." He was like, "Let me tell you something." He said, "That white man could have been the president."
He could have been.
Could you?
No.
And from that point on, he said, "Don't you ever get asked no money."
Hey, man, listen. I'm with you when you're right.
Hey, man. Them old black race men was something special, G. They ain't played no games, man.
Oh, man, listen. We ain't talking about Chris Rock in a minute, but Chris Rock got the best old black race. He like, who the most racist people on the earth? Like, they ain't white people. He said it's old black men.
Because they've been through it.
He's like, they've been through that real racist shit. He's like, they ain't never been through that, I can't catch a cab shit. He's like, they was the cab. White man just jump in your back. Main Street. Left, nigga. like that real racist shit. Like that's, you know what I'm saying? That's a different level for you to, like, hate a motherfucker.
Man.
Yeah, it's different.
Different level. My father was not going. He did. He put me out the house for giving that man 50 cents. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, boy?
Yeah, man. For real. Chris Rock was on that, man. I love Chris Rock. He one of my favorite comedians of all time, man.
Yeah, me too. Quick, easy. Dave, then maybe Chris. I know Chris don't get the kind of report that Dave gets, but Chris is like a strong number 2 to me right now.
Chris is up there. I still think that Richard Pryor is my favorite.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about in this moment.
I think my list would be something like Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock, Deion Cole, Dave Chappelle. I don't know.
That's not in no order.
Martin Lawrence. Not in any particular order, right? But Deion Cole, Dave Chappelle, Martin, T. Murph, actually, like in a real way, T. Murph is one of my top 10 favorite comedians of all time. The dude is hilarious. And so is Just Niche.
T. Murph?
The dude we was just talking about on Woke.
Really?
Yes.
Never heard him do any stand-up. I never knew who he was before I saw the show the other day.
Dog.
Really?
Hilarious.
We definitely got to get him up here then because I want to see that in action.
Hilarious. T. Murphy is definitely in my top 10 all-time comedians. So is Just Niche, also from the crib.
I like Just Niche.
Yeah, she's super, super bomb. We gotta get her on here too. Actually, we had set that up and whatever, but we gotta get her on here too. She's super, super bomb. Mm-hmm. I love comedy, man. I'm a comedy connoisseur, man. I can watch stand-ups all day long.
It's funny.
I like Bill Burr.
We kind of got the moniker, the intellectual thuggery. I love comedy too, but I like intellectual comedy. Right?
Yeah.
So even
got to be something to it. I like George Carlin.
Yeah, absolutely, right. But even like think about what's the Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Kevin Hart just released a new comedy special.
Yeah, I watched it.
But outside of it, I saw it. But for me, it's amazing how big Kevin is, like in regards to like star status.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at him, I don't see him or deem him as to be too funny, right? And it's not a knock on Kevin at all. Mm-hmm. But even people who ride that lane of comedy, I can't really rock with.
Yeah.
Right? Those people who say specifically, well, I don't touch politics, I don't touch race.
Yeah.
The thing about comedy is this dope, in my opinion, is that they take such hard conversations, such hard topics, and make the shit funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what the gift of comedy is.
That's what the gift is about, right? Yeah. Let's deal with this real shit, but deal with it in a way that kind of brings down the armor or, the want to be defensive about this conversation.
Right.
The desire to be defensive about this conversation. So yeah, but it's just interesting to see how those kind of comics, like, you know, I don't want to say those kind of, but Kevin is like a symbol of how far that can go when you avoid dealing with the real shit. But the guys who really value that space, they always deal with the real shit.
That's where it's at. That's where Richard Pryor is hitting you at. That's where Chris Rock is hitting you at. That's where Dave Chappelle is hitting you at. That's where George Carlin is hitting you at. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's in those spaces, when they say shit that you kind of got to look around the room and look at motherfuckers' faces, they're the best ones.
Yeah, I agree.
They're the best ones. It's cool to sit up there and talk about your kids, and it's dope that you did a whole comedy special in your crib, right? Kevin Hart did that thing in his house. Like,
it's a nice house.
That's a level. That's a thing to do.
But one thing I didn't like, I saw it, and I saw like some reviews like, oh man, did you see he did it in his house? And that was kind of part of the marketing behind it. Like, people were talking about it because it was in his house.
Yeah.
But Dave did the shit in his backyard.
He
kind of still stole the idea.
Yeah, that community out there in Ohio too, they was mad. They said it was too much noise and traffic. Like, how's it too much noise in the middle of a cornfield? Right?
Dave runs that community though.
It's different, man.
Dave brings all kind of capital to that little town. If it wasn't for Dave, that town probably wouldn't exist.
I've done a lot of like intimate shows in my basement. Like, I set it up for that purpose, right? I put a stage in there and some other shit in there just to make it for that purpose. So I've done a comedy show. We talk about T. Murph. He's performed in my basement. Niche has performed in my basement. All the dopest comedians in this city, with the exception of a few, have literally performed.
Herb is hospitable, right? He does have this whole setup in his basement where you just come in and get out.
It's a lounge.
And I think about that. I don't let people in my house. I really am a curmudgeon. Now, you can't come to my house.
Now, my mother, I get it from my mother, man. We got to take a break, but I get that thing from my mother. My mother's like that. Like, everybody I know, everybody in my close circle at some point has lived at my mother's house. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I got it from her. So, you know, you can come through. Whatever. We can come through.
I don't let a lot of people in my house. It's just different.
I feel you. Listen, we got to take a break. When we come back from break, there's a video that I found to be extremely disturbing on social media. And not only was the video itself disturbing, but the response or lack thereof to it was pretty disturbing to me. I want to play that, and I want to flip the scenario around, because if it was flipped, I think there would have been a lot of outrage and outcry about this particular video. I also want to talk about your man, Donald Trump, man. 45 he's an interesting cat, man. He's an interesting cat. They got the G20 summit going on with the COVID meeting. Fools, I'm going to play golf. I'm going to play golf.
Real nigga.
I'm fired? Fuck y'all. I'm not coming to work no more. I'm not coming to work this whole last month. Catch me on the golf course. This is I Say What I Said. His name is Tu. My name is Herb. We'll be right back.
WIFTBPM.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Maze Jackson.
You know, with the administration, it really took a real bad turn for the worse. Anytime a mayor tells 20 black aldermen that either we vote for her budget or don't ask her for, you know, SHID. I was I Zoom a witness because it was over Zoom. So it was an eyewitness over Zoom.
I know somebody got to tape. Somebody has got to tape. Okay.
But at the same time, you can, you know, hey, whatever you say is repeatable. So I can tell you without question that it was said that if we don't vote for this budget, don't ask her for SHID for the next 3 years. Not 1 year, but the next 3 years. And that's extremely troubling.
First of all, I'm concerned that 20 black aldermen are on the phone. Our wards are already under-resourced, and now we're being threatened to have our resources cut off. What exactly is the mayor offering you all in exchange for your loyalty to this budget? What is in it for the black people?
They're offering more menu money that the alderman cannot control. It will be controlled through CDOT, and so there's your control factor. So they're talking about creating a bigger bond for the automatic menu where we do our streets, sidewalk, curbs, and gutters, and things like that, increasing that amount, but not giving the alderman control of the extra amount.
So
the department will control it.
So it's not. It's not menu money if you don't control.
It's not menu money. No, it's controlled by CDOT, who's controlled by the mayor.
Right.
My thing is, if it's our money to do what we want to do in our ward, it should be dumped into our menu, and we should be able to do what we want to do with it instead of it being controlled. And so that's just another control factor, another avenue of trying to take power and authority away from the alderman. It's a constant fight every single day with the administration to basically do the right thing by the elected officials who are duly elected.
Alderman, I appreciate you.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
WIFTBPM.
Welcome back. Thank you, good people, so much for tuning in to I Said What I Said. We are live from the What's In It for the Black People Media Studios alongside Toussaint Warner. My name is Herb Howard, running the show behind the glass as she always does, better than anybody else in the game. Her name is Sonia Escobar. Esco, what's up, love?
Hey, guys.
You good?
I am.
You extra bubbly today. I mean, you always bubbly, but you extra bubbly today.
Esco knocked out all that homework.
Yo, when I submit, like, the final paper, I was like, smash!
Smash that send button!
Upload.
That's what's up, man. Glad you had a productive weekend. Glad to see you feeling well as usual. Listen, let me put y'all on the game, man. If y'all have not heard about this, I don't know why not. But, man, y'all need to visit theblackmall.com and Black Coin. The Black Mall and Black Coin presents Buy Black Weekend, Friday, November 27th through Monday, November 30th. This weekend is jam-packed with Buy Black Friday, Super Black Saturday, Award Sunday, and Black Monday, where they are virtually featuring awarding and shopping with the most blacknificent businesses. For more information and to check out their featured businesses, go to theblackmall.com. Theblackmall.com. Buy Black. It's a lifestyle, right? Don't make it this one-day thing. Don't make it this one weekend thing. It is a lifestyle. Make it a part of your regular practice. If you want to get something, like, figure out, like, hey, let me find the black spot to get this at. If you can't, fine. I'm not saying accept inferior products or services, but all things being equal, spend your money with black businesses, man. Let that black dollar recirculate through our community. We're gonna
As you possibly can, man.
Yeah, as much as you possibly can. I know that's a difficult conversation. I know that's something that we talk about a lot, and I don't want to get too much into it today because we're actually going to be speaking to Cassiopeia from the Black Mall. She's going to pop on the show with us on Wednesday so we can get more in depth about that particular thing. So I don't want to go too much into it today. But it can definitely be a challenge, right? It can definitely be a little inconvenient to try and shop black as frequently as you want to. But as best you can, go ahead and do it. And what I've come to understand about it is that once I made it just like it took me a while. I had to be very intentional about it. But after a while, it just became the second nature. And so it went from a place where it's like, okay, let me find some black restaurants to go to. And then after you get your regular rotation, it's like every time I'm hungry, those are my favorite 5 or 6 spots to go to. So that's where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? It becomes second nature. So, it could be a little challenging at first, but it's worth the effort. It's worth the effort. Plus,
without going too deep, man, the world is going through a reset. It's like the reset button is being pushed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even looking at your generation versus my generation, there's like a 10-year gap there at best.
Sure.
There's a difference in how we align ourselves with black businesses even now. Versus when I was younger. You know what I mean? You can see like the black fashion houses of Chicago. You can see them popularized by black culture in Chicago, right? When I was a young kid, the hip hop generation was all about polo.
Yeah.
But now, you see them wearing Fashion Geek. You see them wearing Leaders. And on that note too, I talked to Corey from Leaders. He's definitely gonna come do an interview with us. They're shooting a documentary on Leaders right now. So
Bet it up. Shout out to
he
Corey
won't
and the
do
whole
it
Leader squad.
Before they finish the documentary, because they don't want to have any more conversations out before that.
Okay.
But he promised that we'd be the first guys he come talk to when they drop the documentary.
Boom.
So shout out to Corey. But there's a different attachment to blackness in that way. You can see it visibly, right? The shorties are aligning themselves with black brands. There's a level of, I don't even want to say admiration to blackness, because I don't know if that's true, but you could definitely see that our shopping and our trends and our buying trends are different. So I think that's interesting. But in that world reset, man, I think it would behoove us to not think about or realign ourselves with some alignment to black capitalism in a way. I know black capitalism isn't the answer, but while we're here, we got to know how to navigate it.
Yeah, Cassandra, behave, Cassandra. And I don't want to read too much into your comment. I think what I think you're insinuating. Listen, again, all things being equal, I'm not encouraging anybody to try something that conveniences them or is not as quality of a product as you are used to, right? But all things being equal, again, like black, tissue is just one of those things. I'm not really compromising on my tissue game. It's too intimate of a situation.
I'm not even gonna get into that conversation. But since you're in the comments, I wanted to address one of the things Adrian Anderson said too when I said I don't really let people in my house. Adrian responded and said she don't even let her family in. That's not what I meant. My family is definitely welcome in my house.
It's OG, man.
You know what I mean? I'm just talking about random cats. It's like a few selective people that come, and I don't even be in my house like that. So that might be what it is. I don't even think it's a conscious choice.
You and Adrian the same person, man. Like Maze call you the curmudgeon. Adrian is the curmudgeon of the Is Wiz family.
I don't agree with that. I'm a curmudgeon bullshit.
You just agreed earlier today. You said it yourself.
That's because y'all say it, but I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it at all. Adrian be.
This
is just an acquired taste. That's all. It's just this is an exclusive acquired taste.
That's how I read her comments when she complaining about something. I be.
No. On Friday, did she say, "Excuse me, I'm gonna have to disagree with you"?
Right.
2 at 2.
Sounds like they're talking about sports.
Shout out to Adrian Anderson.
Shout out to Adrian Anderson. Absolutely love her. Also, shout out to RO Double, man. Robin Patrice is the home of homemade items, the absolute flyest homemade items. Being fly is a choice, man. So make sure you make the right choice and choose Robin Patrice from natural soaps and lotions that speak to you. Jewelry, wickless candles, men's grooming items, and more. They truly have something for everyone. Shop online at robinpatrice.com. That's Robin with 2 B's. Follow them on Instagram and Facebook at Robin Patrice, RO Double. Steady getting it done, man. I like all the products that I have seen. I got to go order some candles for sure. Shout out to Robin Patrice. Make sure y'all go ahead and support at robinpatrice.com or visit them online and Facebook at Robin Patrice. 2, I sent you this video on Instagram. And brother, see, look at Adrian. I wear it proudly. Introverted, curmudgeon.
I'm not none of them, though. I'm not introverted. I'm not a curmudgeon.
Okay, but you are in denial.
But I'm not introverted for sure.
Listen, man, I sent you a video on Instagram. I thought it was very, very disturbing. And
hey, can we play this?
Not until you hook up to this with you.
No, I don't even mean like that. I mean, can we play this?
Yeah, it's on Instagram. There's no nudity on it, bro.
You sure?
Yes, I've seen the video.
No, I know it's on Instagram. But
there's no nudity on it. Okay. I wouldn't do that.
Okay. All right.
Listen, Esco is a fool.
Okay, we gonna shoot that shot.
Esco is a fool.
I'm riding with you.
Okay, just relax, man.
Okay.
Let me quarterback this thing.
Nah, we get in trouble. This is Herb shit.
Oh, man.
Who could we get in trouble by?
Facebook or Big Red.
I ain't worried about Maze. I'm talking about like for real trouble.
There's no trouble to be had here, bro. It's just a video. Do you have it?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, I'm waiting for it to pop on your thing so we can play it.
I got the look locked in.
I haven't played it yet. I don't have it yet. I'm just waiting. Okay, leave it right there.
Okay.
So the video it's disturbing to me for the obvious reason that you find it disturbing, but then the fact that there are so many people that think that this is okay, and then I want to flip it after we play the video. So let's just go ahead and play it so people can see what it is I'm talking about. For the obvious reason that you find it, but then there's so many people, and then I want to flip it.
Yeah, that's about the best. I don't even want to see no more.
Yeah, that's enough. That's more than enough of that. But then, that is more than enough of that. You can kill that whole thing.
I did.
That's a problem. That is a problem on every single level possible. That is an absolute problem. Number one, right? Just the fact that the little boy is at the damn party is a problem. And listen, I'm here. I'm completely here for the stripper culture. I'm all for that, right? But the fact that the little boy is at the party, one problem. The fact that y'all are getting him a lap dance from a grown-ass woman, whole nother problem. He's throwing money. He's smacking her ass. She's shaking her ass on this fucking 4-year-old boy, or however old he is, for a full like minute or two at least, and y'all are recording this. And every single person in the room is okay with this, in my opinion. Like you tacitly agreeing that this shit is okay. Because even if I'm in a position where I was like, okay, that ain't my kid. I don't feel like I gotta go. There's no way I'm sitting around here partying with the fucking 4-year-old at a stripper party. Like, get that kid out of here or I'm gone. That is a problem, right? That is a huge, huge problem. And the fact that all these adults sat in that room like this shit was okay, problem. Tiger said it wasn't his party. It kind of looked like it was his birthday party, right? They gave him the money. He's smacking that time. A grown man. That's a little ass boy. That's a baby. Y'all are tweaking. Like, that is not okay. It's not okay from his parents, any other adult in that room, or for the shorty. But she like, hey, they gave him $100 to throw on me. So, baby or not, I'm shaking my ass because he throwing money. Like, that is crazy to me. Also, let's flip this thing for a second. Let's say it's a 4-year-old girl. Let's say it's a male stripper. The outrage is going to be different then, right? The outrage is going to be crazy. Like now somebody going to want him to go to jail, right? And I'm not saying that he shouldn't, right? But the response is not the same. It's Boosie's Guide to Parenting. That's real.
Rashawn got a point.
That's real. That's real. Listen, we seen Boosie constantly talking about, getting strippers for his kids or having chicks come through so his sons can knock him down and all this other kind of crazy shit. That's a real thing, Rashawn. I feel you. Rashawn ain't wrong on that piece at all. Two, where you come in on this thing at, man?
I mean, it's tragic. It's tragic. But there's so many, like, tropes wrapped into that one little video, right?
It's deep. It's a lot.
It's the disregard and lack of value in black women. It's the disregard and lack of value that black women have for themselves. It's the disregard for black youth and black boys. It's also one of the conversations that Skip was talking about. Scoop was talking about last time when we were talking to him. And it's a conversation that we've had before. There's no humanity to the point you're making that if it was a 4-year-old girl,
right,
there would be a different level of outrage.
Right.
Well, there's no humanity attached to black maleness. And we keep forfeiting that idea. But it's so very real. You are not seen until, what's the song Biggie got? You nobody until somebody kills you.
Somebody kills you, yeah.
You know what I mean? So because you kind of go through this journey valueless, like you're looking for ways to be attached to something. You're looking for ways to find value. So I know we were supposed to have that conversation with the street cast today about the violence in our hoods, and it's hard for us not to have it because that's where my mind was at.
Right. I'm with it.
But even that little clip right there speaks to it because that boy is finding value in his degradation of women. He's finding value in his dress code. You see, he had the long chain on. He had the all
money in his hand.
He had all the trappings of what makes black manhood valuable, even amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can run through women.
Yeah.
I got bread.
Yeah.
And I'm the shit.
That wasn't even his first time doing that.
Now he's seen this before at least.
He's at least seen a lot of this behavior, if not done this before, right? Because there's a bit of an art to throwing singles on a stripper, right? It looks.
Tell
real,
me more.
Let's look at the wrist. I've partaken at a few strip clubs around this wonderful country. But there's some. But he had it down pat. Is all I'm saying, right? It wasn't this sloppy kid throwing some money around. His ass smack was fucking pretty artful, right? It was like he's done this shit before. He's seen it before. This is absolutely crazy. I can't and listen, I'm cool with a lot of shit, right? That a lot of people just aren't cool with. That is not okay. Like, that is, a lot of people need to go to fuck to jail. That boy, I would never suggest that somebody be raised by the fucking state, but whoever's raising him is doing a terrible fucking job.
They do what they know, though, right? And what I'm saying is that this has become the culture. So it's how many victims are in that one video, right? And how many culprits are in that one video?
At least everybody in that room. It seemed like it was 40, 50 people in that room.
But who becomes responsible, right? And I'm not justifying none of the behaviors. That's not what I'm asking here, right? But who becomes the villain? Who becomes the culprit of the pain, right? So one, the stripper was hired to be a stripper. I'm sure of it,
Sure,
right?
of course.
And whoever planned the party had planned to have this little man here at some level.
Sure.
Right? So you can villainize them easily, right? It's easily to villainize them because they planned and put this whole shit together. But where, even as a stripper, where do your moral compass come in and say, hey, man, I'm not dancing on this little boy's lap? Does she have any responsibility? And I'm not trying to push shame or blame to no one. I'm saying everybody there is a goddamn victim. And because we are trapped in this space and place of oppression and degradation, we normalize this insanity. And then everybody just adapts.
Yeah.
And everything becomes okay because we keep pushing the barrier of where the line should be drawn.
It's a
and
problem.
sooner or later, there are no fucking lines.
It is a problem. She needs some Herb Stop it, artful ass smacking. There's something to it. She need to cut it out. You've been at many of strip establishment with me. Cut it out. There's an art to it. We gotta take a break. When we come back from break, I'm gonna go through some of these comments. I want to read through you guys' perspective. I hope nobody's saying that is okay. I don't think you would make that acknowledgement publicly if you would, but I do want to see what some of y'all had to say in terms of the outrage of it. I think it's absolutely disgusting.
Man, Antoine Dumele makes a great statement, though. She says, I want to know what the fuck Cardi, Meg, and Nene Leakes and them got to say about that, because it's the same shit.
Oh, yeah, they the president of the culture. You know what I'm saying? Y'all leading this culture from the front, and, you know, I know what you're saying.
And
I
the
hear
dudes who promote this shit too, the Boosies. Nobody's clear to blame.
Everybody's it's the culture, right? It's all of it. But the thing about it is, you can say, "Oh, I'm talking about grown folks." And when you set something out there, you never know who's gonna get burned by it, right? It just is what it is, man. Let's take this break. When we come back, we'll dive deeper into this particular conversation. I said what I said. Herb and 2 here with you to 6 o'clock. We'll be right back.
WIIFTBP Media's just for you and me.
What's up, good people? If you didn't tune in to the last I Said What I Said, here's what you missed. This legendary journalist, man, his list of accomplishments goes on and on. He's an author, a brother. He is someone that, for me, I've looked up to literally since I was about 11 or 12 years old. And this was really before I knew his name. I mean, I knew what Slam Magazine was. That's kind of what you did as a shorty. But I didn't even know that he wrote for it, right? And I had read plenty of his articles, but I didn't know that the dude who I saw every morning on my way to school was Scoop Jackson. Eastside crazy, man. So in growing up over there where I grew up, there wasn't a whole lot of positive male representation. I would walk down the block past his house every morning. I would see him coming out of his driveway, right? He had this coldest truck, black Pathfinder, if I recall. I would see him, and he would always just take a couple minutes to chop it up, and it would just be me or, you know, a couple of my guys just walking to school. And again, over there wasn't a whole lot of representation of positive black males. I don't know that you were aware of the difference that you were making on us at the time.
I don't want to say I don't believe in the concept of giving back. I feel if you give back, that means that you left. So my whole purpose in never leaving the same neighborhood I came up in is that I never gave back. You just give. I would hope that I would have impact on what your everyday lives were. I could be the one dude in the neighborhood that stopped and spoke to you, which I think is really important.
Yeah.
You know, because young individuals in black neighborhoods, especially young men, get ignored very quickly.
All the time.
They get dismissed. Right. They get minimized. And the one thing, I still do it to this day. You know, say what's up to everybody, especially young brothers, because we have a tendency not to acknowledge one another. And I've never lived that life. My hope was that, you know, us having the small time and me just being there and you all, you know, just developing a relationship with me and me developing a relationship with you would have at least a small impact on you. It would give you like, all right, you know, there's some decent people around me. There's something I can look forward to maybe. If I don't have anybody else in this neighborhood that I could talk to that can identify with me, right, I can ring Scoop's doorbell. You got a good memory. It was a black Pathfinder too. You good.
Coldest truck I had seen. I was like, yo, that's raw. Cuz ballin'. I said what I said. Herb and 2 every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on What's in It for the Black People Media.
WIIFTBPN. Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio. You're listening to I Said What I Said.
Wait, what did you say?
I said you're listening to I Said What I Said.
I just said that.
I know you just said that.
That's what I just said.
That's what I'm saying to you.
Exactly what he just said.
With Herb Howard and Toussaint Werner.
That's about one of the nicest things you've ever said.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. I said what I said.
Wait, what did you say?
Because
It's all good. Let me just my
technical
bad, y'all.
difficulties.
My bad, y'all. We was trying to open up this video and we weren't prepared. So forgive us. This is I Said What I Said. We are live from the beautiful What's In It for the Black People Media Studios. My name is Herb Howard alongside Toussaint Warner each and every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm still getting used to that, right? I'm still getting used to that from 3 till 6 p.m. We are here with you to discuss issues impacting the black community. It is intellectual thuggery at its absolute finest. Appreciate y'all so very, very much for being here. If you have not had an opportunity to do so, please take a quick moment to share the broadcast by clicking on the little arrow in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Two, you wanted to pull up the David Banner video when he was talking about black people investing in white supremacy. It's a conversation that we have often here. If you're ready, we can pull it up.
That's right.
Because whether people know it or not, our people as a whole have invested in white supremacy and don't even know it. They don't have to bring. They don't have to bring drugs.
Examples?
They don't have to bring drugs to our community no more. We'll go find the plug.
Yeah.
We'll go fly to Paraguay and come back and bring the plug and everybody else, the trees and everything back to the hood. They ain't gotta call us nigga no more. We'll do that. We got that. It's all good. If you look at our radio stations, like go down today if you think I'm joking. Go from 0 on the radio down all the way to 200.
Okay.
Listen to every different specialized groups. We are the only group that 90% of everything that we talk about in our music is detrimental to us. When we talk about bitches, we're not talking about women in general. We talking about our women.
Yeah.
When we talk about niggas, we talking about us. When we talking about busting somebody in the head, shooting them, we're talking about us. So like at what point do we take control? And that's what I did with the God Box. I said, I can't tell those kids not to do something and it's not successful. I have to go and do it. You can't lead the people unless you can feed the people. So we can sit down and strategize and talk about what's best and criticize what other people do, but you have to show them better.
Yeah.
Black people learn by something that's called tacit knowledge. White people learn by explicit knowledge. They like to, read and, just make up stuff. We like to see examples. We like to see, think about most of our stories that was sung to us.
Yeah.
People were showing you look up on the wall, like it was a picture of what the fuck they did back in the days. So if we want these children to do better, because if you look at these kids, as much as people criticize these kids' music, we were the ones that told these kids money over everything.
Yeah.
It should have been get your money, but not over culture, not over our women, not at the detriment of our own people. So we got to be a better example. Because whether people...
I dig it.
On the float.
Like
on the
a
float.
damn.
On the float.
Yeah, let's go. Bump that.
Take me back.
On the real.
So I'm gonna give you a little bit of game that all girls get down on the float. On the float.
Like a pimp.
Everybody in that video was wearing clothes by Toussaint Warner.
Yeah?
Yes, sir.
That's fire, bro.
I was getting money back.
But I know at one point when you was doing it, man, at least 7 out of every 10 people that hit the stage at 106 & Park was in your stuff.
That's true. We was killing for a minute, man. It was interesting times.
No, that's dope. That's dope. What did you find so most powerful about that particular video?
The end statement.
Yeah, me too.
We talked about the Capitol, right? As long as we keep changing the rules for Capitol, everything is accessible. Everything becomes okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You cannot put capital over everything. He said culture, I'm going to replace culture with God. And that's why I always talk about spirituality, right? And in the context of what it means to be gods. And I think we are gods, but we have given away our power to the dollar, right? And when you transform that power, you weakened your own ability because you now see this thing in your pocket as your savior instead of yourself as your savior. You know what I mean? But we see it, we talk about, there's a colloquial term now, the culture.
Yeah.
Right. And it's fully attached to, there's a branding attachment that kind of aligns the culture with the culture of hip hop specifically. And hip hop's not a culture. It's a genre of music. That's it.
Okay.
Not a culture. You know what I mean? So when they say the culture, what they really are attaching themselves to is black culture. right? And there's a sickness attached to black culture right now because black culture is only in alignment with capitalism. You know what I mean? So what you get at it is you breed degradation because you are for sale, right? So we had this conversation with the sisters last week, and I said, you know, you all mentioned money as one of the pillars that make a decent relationship.
Yeah.
You know, both of you all mentioned that.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm cool with that, but if that's what we're going to say it is, then let's call it what it is. It's prostitution. I didn't mean that to down the sisters. That wasn't what it was about.
It's a definition.
It's about understanding our polarity and how we're operating out here. Because I think the guys are operating in the same space. All of it is for sale.
Yeah.
And when it's all for sale, then you are nothing more than a hoe.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And we can see it in every element of the culture. When you see the little boy smacking that woman's ass and that woman being accepting of this little baby smacking on her ass.
How could that be okay to you, G?
We see
Like,
two hoes. We see two hoes. You understand what I'm saying? I hate the shorty don't even know, right?
Nah. How could he?
He's only being
How could
reared
he?
in that way.
He can't even spell
he
his
don't
name.
even understand.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's all you are. You're paid. You're a slave, bro. You paid and bought. You paid for already. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but when it gets to the point that, you know, to your point, cash is such your God that you are willing to shake your ass on a 4-year-old boy about this fucking dollar, we have a problem. Like, we have a problem, and I don't even know how to correct that problem. Like, the problem is deep as fuck if we get to the level where grown-ass women are okay shaking their naked asses on a 4-year-old baby. That's a problem. I don't even know how.
It's easy to identify.
And it's not just her, right? It's everybody in that fucking room. To me, it's everybody in that room. It's his parents. It's whoever party it was. It's everybody who's there. How do you watch this shit and stay in the same room like this shit is okay? Like, maybe you feel powerless to stop it because it's not your kid, it ain't your party, whatever. But how the fuck do you stay there like this is cool?
It's easy to identify in that video, though, because those images are shocking, right? It's hard to identify in the man that wears the suit and tie to corporate America but still acts like a bitch in the face of that white supervisor. But it's the same goddamn problem.
Pause it right there. I want to unpack that because I want to know how you make the correlation between that grown-ass woman shaking her naked ass on the 4-year-old boy to some dude capitulating in the top of some Fortune 500 company. This is I Said What I Said. His name is Tucson Warner. My name is Herb Howard. We'll be right back.
WIIFTBP Media's just for you and me.
Pressure, just want pressure. Yeah, man. Ideas, man. Ideas. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. It's so clear to see that you wanna be free. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. It's so clear to see that you wanna be free. Let's go. Standing my ground, I can't mess around now. It's like my time is in a bottle, captured by your love, yeah. Now I know women's got this thing going on. We can't stay around so long, but I wanna come correct. Baby, get your foot off my neck. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind thee. Understand clearly, that you wanna be free. It's the time that you spend making me think within. Is the trust still beginning? Fade away from beginning of the day. I can see you trembling times, and I can see you wondering mine. Is it me considered? Is you that's with it? See, you don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind thee. It's so clear to see, baby, that you wanna be free. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind thee. It's so clear to see that you wanna be free, yeah. I'm just trying to be the best I can. You can call me the troubling man. Matter of fact, I'm from the side of the street. Baby girl, you're calling on me. At the time that I feel your presence around me, it's something that I can't let go. It's your time and everything around me there. I just wanna hold on, but you don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind me. It's so clear to see that you wanna be free. I just wanna come correct best I can. Baby, get your foot on my neck. And just before you just leave, baby, I've been trying to tell you I can breathe. You don't have to find me, baby. I'm walking right behind me. It's so clear to see that you want me free. Down pressure, baby. I just wanna press you, baby.
TheBlackMall.com and Blackcoin presents Buy Black Weekend, November 27th through the 30th, making it easy for you to buy black with amazing black-owned vendors and business owners. This weekend is jam-packed with Buy Black Friday, Super Black Saturday, Award Sunday, and Black Monday, where we are virtually featuring, awarding, and shopping with the most blacknificent black-owned businesses in the Chicagoland area. And they're going to have crazy holiday deals. Visit TheBlackMall.com today and click on the Buy Black Weekend banner so you can RSVP and stay in the know. You can also become a featured business, but register right away before they're gone. For more information and check out our featured businesses, go to TheBlackMall.com. Buy Black. It's a lifestyle.
Black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, and you're black, you're not
WIFTBPN.
Live from What's In It for the Black Media Studio. You're listening to I Said What I Said.
Wait, what did you say?
I said you're listening to I Said What I Said.
I just said that.
I know you just said that.
That's what I just said.
That's what I'm saying to you.
Exactly what he just said.
With Herb Howard and Toussaint Werner.
That's about one of the nicest things you've ever said.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
That's why we shine wherever we.
And we are back. We are live from the beautiful What's In It for the Black People Media Studios alongside Toussaint Werner. My name is Herb Howard. Thank y'all so very, very much for choosing to be a part of this conversation. It is intellectual thuggery at its absolute finest. We are fully aware that y'all could literally be doing anything else right now. The fact that y'all have chosen to be a part of this conversation means a whole lot to us. We do not take it for granted. Thank y'all so very, very much. Shout out to Butter, man. Butter, I love you too, man.
Don't shout out that turd.
It's my man's, man. Shout out to Butter, man. I don't know what Mags is talking
Henry. That boy got about 15 names. Henry Williams.
Yeah, they all.
Nah, salute the boy. That's my brother.
They all fraudulent names too. None of my real. They're all aliases. Listen, too, before we went to break, you were making a correlation between the particular behavior, the disgusting, demeaning, unacceptable behavior that we saw on the video that we showed in the last segment. You were making a correlation between that behavior and that of a capitulating brother that sits at the top of some corporation trying to appease his white counterparts.
Yeah, hoe is hoe. It doesn't really matter at
what
what level, right? Some hoes is successful, some hoes is not successful, but you're still a hoe, right? And what gets attached to that from a boy perspective, it's interesting. There was a study done a few years ago when they removed like the male African elephant from the tribes, right, and left the teenage boys to kind of roam free. And within hours, the little boys lost their goddamn mind and started killing each other and was fighting and raping the women. It was just like outrageous. I say raping. I don't even know if that's, but it was outrageous, right? The behavior was outrageous. And then maybe a month later, they was wondering like, why are they acting so wild? And they dropped the parent male elephant back into the tribe, and the shit rectified itself immediately, right? And I often talk about me being a student of John Henry Clark, and one of the things that he talks about is that in order to become a man, you have to master the environment in which you're in, right? And in order to do that for us as a black male species, if we're going to align ourselves with this capitalistic system, then our only role here is to dominate it and take it over. That's it. You know what I mean? Because if you're not, then you become subservient to it. And when you're subservient to anything, you will only be subservient to the rules of that anything, right? So as the rules switch for that anything, you start to align yourself with whatever those rules are.
Sure.
So when you start looking at the basic breakdown of the numbers and the basic breakdown of what it means to be in the caste system, you start to understand that, one, black masculinity isn't even offered a space here. I said earlier that, you know, our humanity isn't recognized. But just looking at the numbers, right? So the only place we're employed in is government fractions.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
We're 2% of the
private sector.
So we're not employed in the private sector where the money is really being made in. So we're just kind of being brought along. We're kind of like a servants class.
Sure.
Right? And as we move away from the need for service, because we're moving into the digital space, then what happens? You're left out of that economic engine, and you have to start finding creative ways to make capital. Right? So what's that leave us? That leaves us with entertainment, and that leaves us with the underworld economy. Right? You can't get no regular money, but you can make these motherfuckers laugh. Tell a joke. Right. Dance for me, nigga.
Right.
That's real. It sounds crazy, but that's legitimately where we are. Dance for me, nigga. Tap dance, nigga. Right? So because we've accepted our role in this, we start to see the stairway going down. Because there is no more roles here. We got enough niggas. We got enough court gestures. How do you stay afloat? Right? So as a male and to become a man, then our goal has to be either take over this society and dominate it, or accept that failure. Right? We often talk about our women. We can't. You know, Malcolm is noted for saying we can't rise our nation can't rise beyond its women. Right? And I see that, but our women are just adapting to that same degradation because now we all are surviving at the angst of whatever this capitalist system is forcing our hands to do. And like I said, the barrier of the rule keeps getting pushed, and we keep justifying more and more behaviors.
Sure.
And as we keep justifying more and more behaviors, all we get is more and more lack out of that.
Yeah.
It's really that simple, man.
I mean, I think that, you know, again, it goes back to you saying that we are so beholden to the dollar, right? And if that's the only way we can get to it, then, or even if that's the easiest way we can deem ourselves able to get to it, right? It don't take a whole lot of skill for me to get naked and shake my ass, right? It don't take a whole lot of skill. I don't have to look a certain way. You said do, Esco? What is wrong with you, man?
It still work.
Listen, I'm not judging it. I don't have a problem with the profession in and of itself, but there has to be some rules to it. You got to be able to draw some lines to it. There has to be something. There got to be some parameters to this thing, right? And that's
You're
that's
watching When
anything.
Keeping It Real Goes Wrong.
For real, right? Keeping it real goes wrong, and that's just like you went too far. Like that can't be an acceptable way for you to earn $1, right? Now that's one thing for me to say that, and then be like, well, okay, niggas sell drugs. That don't really move me like that, right? I mean, some of the things that come along with it, there's some problems there. But, you know, I don't know. I just think there's some things that cannot be justified. And when you talk about the things that are happening, that are represented in that particular video, it's damning for the outlook of our prospects of changing our circumstances in our community. I think that if we can tap into this love thing, if we can tap into this community thing, be more connected to each other, then we have a chance of reaching our fullest potential as a people.
Sometimes I think it's damning, but sometimes I don't know. And I mean it in this sense.
Okay.
Right? When everything, like the universe works, when we start talking about degrees, right? Everything is circular. Everything is cyclical. So it's 360 degrees. So it's like a time continuum. So when you look at a watch, you're going to hit certain spots in that watch no matter what. Till you get back to the dial that you was on in the beginning.
Broken clock is right twice a day.
It is what it is. So I just think we're in that level of the rotation because we are seeing a world reset. We're in that level of the rotation where that class of people, and I know this sounds harsh, but that class of people is going to remove itself.
Say how you feel it
from the dial. You know what I mean? Like legitimately, we're going to wipe ourselves off the planet. Yeah, and I'm saying ourselves because there's a relationship to blackness, but I think that it's that mindset of person. You know what I mean? And you can see it. You can see it in the famine in those communities. Maze was talking to the brother earlier about the body types of the sisters and brothers in our communities these days and how that malnutrition or whatever. But when you start looking at the young boys in our community, I'm talking about, and I say young boy, I mean 20, 25. And they weigh like 125. They're wearing like size 22 pants. I mean, it's something outrageous. You know what I mean? Just if you ate a meal every day, you couldn't possibly have this body type. You know what I mean? So, and the sisters are much bigger than the young boys because they eating all the wrong stuff too, right? And I'm not justifying that or making none of that okay, but legitimately, if you're paying attention to the signs, you can see these things, right? You can see that there's a language barrier that's starting to happen at a greater divide in regards to people who are capable of making it in the world and those who can't, right? Yeah. And language matters. So when you start getting to when you start getting to the hood element per se, there's legitimate, Ebonics is one thing. There's legitimately a new language being created because they don't know the words, right? They can't read. They can't, it's some different shit going on out here. You know what I mean? And in that class and that culture is going to have to find a way to survive, however that might be. You know what I mean? And the things that they are capable of leveraging at this moment are not going to wield them through whatever this next reset are.
Yeah, and I get that, and I agree. Wholeheartedly, I agree. But for me, it's always a conversation about, we don't have the manpower to be just watching so many of our people fall by the wayside. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have enough of us in the first place to then be like, yo, it's cool if these niggas don't go. Everybody ain't gonna go. I understand the piece. I understand fully what it means that everybody can't go. I get it. I know everybody's not gonna be able to go. But I think as many people as we absolutely can get to go with us and be a part of this revolution and this transformation of our circumstances, we need them people on deck. So I'm real slow to cancel people because they are what we would deem hoes, or because they are homosexual, or because they are whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Thugs. Or returning citizens, or clucks even. We were having that conversation earlier. Like, I'm really, really hesitant to cancel anybody out of the culture because we need as many hands on deck as possible. Now it reaches a point when it's not a hand on deck, right? They aren't really working towards the same cause as us, and in fact they're probably more detrimental than they are helpful or an asset. And so I get that piece, but it's still hard for me to swallow to say, man, this whole group of motherfuckers got to get canceled. Like, none of them can go. This is a lot of them.
See, even that's for me, the way you worded that is, it speaks to human arrogance. And I mean it in this sense. Like, I operate from this kind of spiritual, metaphysical space, and I do this shit like it's by my nature. It's,
sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's not even something I really think about.
Sure.
But it's like everybody, this story has already been written. So we're thinking about it from the standpoint of a continuum. This continuum is going to take place no matter where you land in this continuum. It's going to take place. That's how this shit works, right? So my look on life is like, what's my role in the continuum, right? And no matter what my role is, the continuum is going to keep going. I can't change the continuum. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Now I got a role in the continuum.
I did.
You know what I mean?
I did.
And maybe my role is what we're doing here, providing messaging for those who seek refuge in being part of the next wave. I don't know. But to say I'm going to jump and slide and stop time, or I'm going to stop the continuum, the universe don't work that way.
It's not a real thing.
Right? The earth heals itself. It's going to rectify its own problem. Even when we talk about white supremacy in a lot of ways, whiteness in its essence is a new concept in regards to the way the world, or the time continuum the world operates on.
Sure.
Right? So when we start talking about
made up thing.
It's a made up thing, right? But even when we start talking about the Moors or blackness or whatever, right? The Moors ran the world in the same kind of vein that white folks run the world today. You know what I mean? They said that same kind of power structure where they kind of had their fist at, everybody was under the foot of the Moors because they was conquering motherfuckers, and you gonna roll by my rules. And the universe, again, moved the continuum and say, all right, motherfuckers, you had your run. Now it's over. Now we're going to move it this way. Now we're going to move it this way. So I heard somebody say earlier, and maybe it was Salim, I don't know, but they said that the future is feminine. And I kind of agree with that. But what does that look like for the black male in that continuum? Because what the future is feminine means, and it's not just the colloquialism that we like to say where women just become powerful or some shit. What it really says is that because of the way technology works, and Salim talks about this a lot too, is that there's no need for a labor force. Right? And when there's no need for a labor force, there's no need for that man's strength. There's no need for that power dynamic. And if there's no need for that person, what does masculinity look like?
Yeah. We got to take a break, man. I don't want Devontae Stone calling up here telling we missed the break. We got to hit the break. Shout out to Mace Jack, too, on that assist, brother. I did catch that. Appreciate you on that side. This is I Said What I Said. Herb Howard Tucson, 1 here with you at 6. On the other side of this break, I want to talk about your president, bro. Dude is Dude is a real nigga, man. He is a real nigga, and perhaps keeping the real is going way too wrong in the Oval Office. We'll be right back after this.
WIIFTBP, media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP, media's just for you and me.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
WIIFTBPM.
Food, culture, impact. What's in it for the Black People Media is proud to support the Woodline, located at 1200 East 79th Street. It is an innovative economic center for the entire family. Stop by and try their delicious jerk-inspired menu, plus get details on their new Igloo dining experience, restaurant, event space, and cultural space. For more information and reservations, and to find out about their COVID-19 friendly space, visit them online at www.thewoodline1200.com. www.thewoodline1200.com. Shout out to Donnell, the whole staff over there. It's one of my favorite spots in the city in a real way. Get over to the Woodline and check them out. Two, I don't know if you've seen that your boy, man, Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. They had the G20 meeting, right? It was a meeting about COVID-19. Trump was like, yeah, I know the numbers keep going crazy in my country. I know we getting.
Fuck y'all, I'm finna get these 18 holes in.
I know we still hitting record numbers in my country, but fuck that. I'm gonna go out here and hit a few golf balls around and see what's to that. Dude is wild as hell, bro. Like, just the optics of it, right? Even if you didn't want to go to the fucking G20 thing, you can't go to the fucking golf course, bro, unless you Donald Trump. Then you can do whatever the fuck you want to do, because that's just how he's moved the whole time.
Isn't there a private course?
He's got his own course, but like you gotta, if you don't want to go, you gotta come up with another reason for why you're not going, right? And then you can't be seen just out casually hitting golf balls on like it's your fucking off day. But this dude he marches to the beat of his own drum and nobody else's. Because if you have a chief of staff, if you have an advisor, somebody's gonna tell you like, nah, bro, you can't do that if you ain't going to the G20 meeting. Like, if you ain't going to that, okay, fine. We got to come up with another. He had something else. This was going on. That was going on, right? He like, nah, I'm going to hit the links.
So even to that, to respond to Trump moving like that, just to kind of link it to the conversation we've been having, I want to read Salim's comment.
Oh, please do. Yeah, that was powerful.
And Salim's comment says, correct too, and what that underclass will form is a powerful gravitational pull toward dystopia. Like a black hole, we're all vulnerable to the pull. Now I'm going to leverage that in reference to the Trump whole goddamn presidential term, right? And in a lot of ways, instead of saying underclass, because I think that has a certain kind of reference point in America, maybe we should call it lower frequency, right? And part of that Trump even being elected speaks to that lower frequency and that part of the continuum that we're in.
Because it ain't necessary money conversation.
Right, because we just talked about the young girl in the video and the young boy in the video, how we have changed the moral standard and look at this ignorant shit.
Right.
But that's the same shit that's happening at the White House.
Absolutely.
There's no standard.
Absolutely.
And there's no standard because the world is on that part of the frequency. We're at the lower level of the frequency where standards don't have any value.
And I've been saying this for 4 years that Donald Trump ain't caused this racism, but the gravitational pull that Salim is speaking on, that's real, right? You are at the center of that fucking thing, right? And all this other thing is kind of like rotating around you and steadily gaining momentum until you get to a space where a 17-year-old murderer can go out of state, kill 2 people, maim another person, and then thousands of white people can raise millions of dollars for him to get him out of jail. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
the build up to that continuum.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So David Banner's video said we taught him this, right? So money, cream, cash rules everything around me.
Cream, get the money. Dollar
bill, y'all. Right? So that's when I was 14, 15 years old, when I was bumping, right? Now you get to the King Vons, right? And now that is not just a song, it's a moniker to life, right? So we don't take any value in the actual poet, the poetry portion of this rap shit.
Right.
It's all the image, because the image gets us to what? The capital.
Right.
So if it means I got to kill a motherfucker to get to the capital, because think about it.
So
all of the
big.
new rappers be like, I only been rapping for like 3 months. Yeah. But they got all this street credibility that makes them valuable because that's what we responding to. We're not responding to the art no more. We responding to the frequency.
Right.
This is a low frequency motherfucker.
Right.
So because this is a low frequency portion of energy that we're in the universal conundrum or continuum, I should be rocking with this motherfucker.
Period.
Right? Same thing from the White House to Parkway. It's the same.
There's value
fucking energy.
There's value there, right? And whether there's any acceptable standards to that value or not, that is where the value is found. And so if my value is in walking around and I got a 30-shot clip on me and I got a couple bodies on me and everybody around here know it, then that's where I find my value at. I couldn't find it as a fucking student, right? I couldn't find it as just a human being. I couldn't find it as a black man. Only place I found value at is being a shooter. Oh, and then now I can take those very same stories and put them on songs, right? As long as I got an iPhone and a YouTube account, I can post videos all day, and now I'm a rapper. Boom. And then one of these fucking videos, because I said the right person's name at the right time and started a real fucking street beef that I may or may not have anything to do with, now 50,000 people watch my video. Oh, shit. I got to make another video. And what did I say that made 50,000 people go see it? Because I can say that twice as harsh so 100,000 people can come see it.
So I want to read Adrian Anderson's comment. She says there always has been and always will be a subset within our community with values that don't align with the majority. The difference to me is now we've been quieted because we don't want to be called judgmental. Sometimes judgment is a good thing. So my response is that the universe operates in balance, right? That's hence feminine, masculine. That is balance, right?
Sure.
The union between feminine and masculine creates the energy of God, right? So when that energy is out of balance, you're getting certain kind of frequencies that come up out of that shit, right? So it's not that we're not judging them, it's that the frequency is out of balance. You could judge them all the fuck you want.
Nobody gives a shit.
The balance is off.
Right.
The universe is out of balance.
Right.
And on this portion of the continuum, that lower frequency is the one that is in control. It has the more power out here.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And as the universe corrects itself, it will once go back into balance. But to Celine's point, though, that shit is has gravitational pull, right? So if you think of this shit like a mountain, right? Just because of where we are in the political sphere and the social sphere of America as black people, if this is a mountain, middle class black America is still at the very bottom of that goddamn mountain.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So if the people with that lower frequency is pulling your ass down, then the fight or the climb to get up
becomes
is
that much more
harder.
difficult. Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So a great way to kind of put this shit into real time conversation, right? In reference point to what middle class America or middle class in regards to black America, I'm in the top 1%. Right? Now, I ain't saying that shit with no pride because it ain't shit to be prideful about. Right? The most dangerous block in Chicago, per the Chicago Tribune, is walking distance from my house. My children have been in private schools all their lives. Right? I have great hopes and aspirations for my children, and I've worked hella hard to put them in the positions they're in. But the most dangerous block in the total in all of the city is in walking distance from my fucking home.
Right.
So with all of this that I'm doing to push my child up that hill, the motherfucking access to the bottom of that motherfucker, the pit of that hill, is walking distance. Right? That's real time. Right. But if you turn on the internet where you see videos like the little brother that we just saw, he don't even got to walk. It's at his fingertips.
Right.
That energy is pervasive.
Right.
And you're fighting against that energy all the goddamn time, and that energy doesn't have a shut off.
Fighting is hard. Right. That's the thing about fighting. Like, it's not easy to fucking fight. Right. It's real hard to keep swinging, keep taking punches, keep swinging, keep moving your feet, keep swinging. That takes a whole lot. It's real easy to be like, yo, I'm not fighting no more. I'm just gonna roll with this shit, right? Because this shit, that gravitational pull, it's getting stronger and stronger. There are more and more people involved, and probably more people on that side of it than on the other side of it, right? And so instead of just fighting against it, I'll just roll with it, right? And so I'm cool with the video, because you look at the comments in the video, right? It wasn't a whole lot of like how we having this conversation where everybody is here like that's absolutely disgusting. That wasn't really the conversation in the comments on that video. It was some of that, but it was a whole lot of, yeah, shorty smack her ass. Yeah, baby girl, shake your ass. Show little homie what it is. It was a whole lot of that type of shit in the comments, and it was like, yo, this is acceptable for way too many people. But that becomes easier than saying, okay, let me fight against everything that's going on so I can try and get maybe one rung higher on this fucking ladder. It's like, nah, fuck that.
When you operating at a low frequency, right, it's easy to achieve low frequency. There's no work involved in meeting the low frequency standards.
It's very, very simple.
Right? You could be lazy as shit and, hey, I showed up as the low frequency guy.
Yeah.
It takes no effort.
Yeah.
Right?
Very
so
simple.
when we're in this space and place where the entirety of the universe is operating from this, it's like heralding this frequency, it's easy to achieve that. Right? So there is no pushback. So even if you're looking at the video with the young guy and the stripper, it's going to get a lot of low frequency responses.
Sure.
Right? And because that is the pervasive energy of the day, the low frequency responses probably going to drown out the higher frequencies because it's just more of them. Right? It's like Gucci and Jeezy battling this weekend, and when Gucci shits on Jeezy publicly, there's a whole bunch of people like, yeah, get him, G, that's gangster. That's the shit to celebrate.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's the Donald Trump going to the G20, not going to the summit and going to play golf.
Right.
There's people who celebrate these behaviors because the frequency is pervasive.
It's championed, for
right?
sure.
And we can put whatever label we want on it. Just like I said to the sisters the other day, you could sprinkle glitter on shit. It don't change it from being shit. Right? And that's what we keep doing. We keep sprinkling glitter on shit and thinking it ain't shit. It's still shit.
Right.
And it's not at one level of the environment. Parkway, that is shit. The White House, that is also shit.
Right.
Right?
Right.
But because our affinity for money, the shit in the White House is just the glitter. And we aspire to the glitter of the shit instead of getting the shit out of our house.
That glitter looks a whole lot like, diamond rings and exotic cars and throwing thousands of dollars at the club. Like there's a lot of glitter to be put on the shit. And, to your point, that doesn't change what it actually is. We got to take a break. When we come back from break, we'll dig deeper into this conversation. Y'all go ahead and get yourself something to drink. Go ahead, go to the bathroom. Got about 3 or 4 minutes. We'll be right back.
WIIFTBPM.
What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. For the black people. For the black people. For the black people. For the black people. For the black people, for the black people, for the black people, for the black people. What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. What's in it for the black people? Let's hear it. What's in it for the black people? Don't fear it. For the black people, for the black people, for the black people, for the black people, What's in it for the black people? You know it. What's in it for the black people? Let's show it. What's in it for the black people? You know it. What's in it for the black people? Let's show it. For the black people. 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 For the black people.
Tune in every Sunday. Don't miss it. Live from the West Center for the Black People Media Studios. It is the Kickoff Kickback. Join the conversation with the brothers, Eugene McIntosh, Herb Howard, and myself, Terrence Tomlin.
We got analysis live from the stadium. The brother Joe Lewis will be following through. We got great guests coming in, players, personnel, people.
Say what? We do our thing every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, taking you right up to kickoff.
We picking the full slate of NFL games. We talking fantasy football. Gino got you covered on all the bets. It's a kickback.
Make sure y'all join the conversation. Smash that like button, smash that share button, and continue to help us push the culture forward.
Don't miss it every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, live here from the West Center for the Black People Media Studios.
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black.
TheBlackMall.com and Black Coin presents Buy Black Weekend, November 27th through the 30th, making it easy for you to buy black with amazing black-owned vendors and business owners. This weekend is jam-packed with Buy Black Friday, Super Black Saturday, Award Sunday, and Black Monday, where we are virtually featuring, awarding, and shopping with the most blacknificent black-owned businesses in the Chicagoland area. And they're going to have crazy holiday deals. Visit TheBlackMall.com today and click on the Buy Black Weekend banner so you can RSVP and stay in the know. You can also become a featured business, but register right away before they're gone. For more information and check out our featured businesses, go to TheBlackMall.com. Buy Black. It's a lifestyle.
Black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, and you're black, and I'm black,
WIFTVPN. Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio. You're listening to I Said What I Said.
Wait, what did you say?
I said you're listening to I Said What I Said.
I just said that.
I know you just said that.
That's what I just said.
That's what I'm saying to you.
Exactly what he just said.
With Herb Howard and Toussaint Werner.
That's about one of the nicest things you ever said.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
What's up, good people? Welcome back. This is I Said What I Said. We are live from the What's in It for the Black People Media Studios, Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. Myself, Herb Howard, my co-host, Toussaint Werner, get together with you, and we discuss things. Thank y'all so much for being a part of the conversation, man. Tu, you mentioned something earlier that kind of took me back to this idea of, how a lot of this conversation be preaching to the choir, right? And it's not that we all agree on everything, right? We disagree a lot, right? You and I disagree. We disagree with the rest of the family. The rest of the family disagree with us sometimes. Darius, I'm gonna address that here in just a second. But I think that for a lot of it is kind of preaching to the choir, right? We are all in some way, shape, or form aware of the issues that we face in our community, and in our own way, we are engaged in finding some solutions for overcoming those things. And so, sometimes it can seem like, well, what's the impact of having this conversation with this group of people who's already aware, who's already engaged? I think that, again, for me, it's always about us getting on the same page. And I think that if those of us can be on the same page, because that other side, they're on the same page. They are on the same page about, whatever for the dollar works, right? Shaking my ass on a 4-year-old baby, cool. It's for the dollar, right? Anything I can do to get a gaudy ass chain, cool, right? whatever kind of they on the same page about what they want, right? They understand exactly what it is they're in pursuit of. I think we still have some work to do to be on the same page about what it is that we are in pursuit of. And then I think it's absolutely imperative that we find our way to get on that same page if we're going to have any chance at then addressing the people who are kind of in limbo, that kind of in-between crowd. Like, I can go this way, I could go that way. And that other way is easier. So if I don't have some clear direction and powerful leadership to go the other way, I'm probably going to turn back and go this way.
So I always kind of push back when you say that we're preaching to the choir a little bit.
Okay.
Right? And I say that because I don't think we know, right? It's like a pastorless church. It's just one congregation.
Right.
You know, and I think we all have a responsibility to try to find out the answers, right? This journey of life is just that. It's a journey. It's not a destination. It's a journey. We are just part of the continuum. So all the information, though we are the sum total of all that comes before us, all the information is in us. We have not yet mastered accessing all the information. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So in this continuum, we're just creating more and more platforms for more and more information for the next generation.
Sure.
Right? But the continuum is going to keep continuing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you say, you know, we preaching to the choir, I don't even know if there's a choir that exists. So, and I mean that in this sense, right? So when we start thinking about, even from the political standpoint, the ADOS movement, the ADOS movement is fairly new. It's a baby. It's a baby. It's in its inception.
For sure.
Right? But that understanding of American descendants of slavery has changed, completely can change my contextual understanding of what it means to be black in America. That's a last 5 years kind of conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I consider myself to be fairly intelligent. But this new information in just the last 5 years made me rethink this whole scope. Like, damn, just adding this information makes me question all this shit before that I had understood.
Identity is key.
You know what I mean? But again, I'm fluid in that understanding too. I know I'm not arrogant enough to believe I got it all understood.
No.
Right? But no, I'm saying that in essence to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I also have conversations with people who I know don't got a fluid understanding that I have, who think they know all this shit.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
So we get stuck at those.
That's
again,
church though.
Back to frequencies though.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's that lower frequency. So that lower frequency of Parkway, or the sister that's stripping, or their goal is locked into, I want to get money.
Right.
Because that's the extent of how far that frequency will allow them to go.
That's it.
Right? Their journey is only manipulated by that understanding. Right? So Salim just put in new data adds clarification. We're not seeking new data because that low frequency doesn't look for access to education. Yeah. I said it's a lazy frequency. It's not looking for the information.
Yeah. But listen, when I watch Muwar Kills World, right, and I see a brother like Salim steadily taking in information, right, steadily digesting data, even though he already has more data, enough data for 10 people, right? Mm-hmm. They had a conversation about it today about, you know, having too much data, and then you gotta forget some other shit because it's too much in there, right? And Salim's got data for 10 people, but he's still taking in more data because that new data does add clarification. But back to your point, I think that is church though. Like
Mm-hmm.
like you talk about like these differing ideas, right? So yeah, we all in church, cool. But even though you sitting up here preaching this thing like you know it verbatim and you holier than thou, I know you for real, right? I know you really out here on some shit that ain't even close to being aligned with the Creator, right? Or any sense of spirituality, right? I know what you really own, but that happens in church too, and it happens in the hypothetical choir that I'm speaking of, right? That wasn't the word I was looking for.
So leveraging your analogy though, right? Right. You said I know you for real. You're not in alignment with the Creator,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And going back to the point I made about it all being in us, we just not tapping into it, right? We the sum total of all that comes before us.
Sure.
Well, my belief is that we the Creator. Right? And I think part of what capitalism does and part of what the environment in which we in does is that it draws your attention away from you.
Mm-hmm.
So we start looking for these external fixes
mm-hmm.
to these internal issues.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Capital, money, the dollar being God is an external thing. It's tangible. I can get to this. And this will create a value within me. And when I find that value, I will be all that God is supposed to be making me be or whatever. You know, this is happiness per se, right? But you get there and you realize that you still not whole.
Yeah, because you ain't tapped into that real.
Because you're not tapped into you.
Right. That's where the God is, though. Right.
And hence where the information and the answers lie too, to even raise your vibration, to raise your frequency.
Sure.
Right. But when you come in the crib, first thing you do is sit your lazy ass on the couch, plop on the TV to get away from me.
Mm-hmm.
I turn on my headphones. And you can see the frequency. Think about you don't have children, but my children are. All children are attached like this.
They are.
Right? And because they're attached like this, then you know they're not seeking internally. Because it's all about ways to take my energy somewhere else other than me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't give a fuck what outcomes you get out of that kind of a human being. They might have great grades. They might make a lot of fucking money. They might be flat out murderers. Right? But they all are escaping themselves.
I agree. Right. And you know, Devin says, I believe we are gods. You and I both believe that as well. Right. I also believe that there is a creator like that I call God, but I think there's a creator of this earth. Right. And I think that in that divine creation, there is a purpose that's been attached to all of us, right? And if you can hearken, if you can really tap into that thing, then that will be your North Star. You can feel it, you can understand it, you can even hear it. There's a little voice inside. You might think, I'm just thinking out loud, I'm talking to myself. Nah, you aren't thinking out loud. You aren't talking, like there's a voice inside of you, and that is the God that's inside of you. And that thing speaks to you about what something feels right. Does this feel right? Does this feel wrong, right? Those types of things speak to you, but I think that we get so far removed from that voice to where we can't hear it, right? And is it because we again ingest so many other things like you was just talking about? I'm turning on the TV all the time. I'm turning on this type of music all the time, and so now I can't even hear that other voice that is really the God within me that tells me how I should be moving. I don't even hear that thing anymore because I've drowned it out with so much other shit.
It's true, and it also could be attached to there's no value asset in finding out who you are. There's no value asset in love. There's no value asset attached to it.
I think, okay, so yeah, from this outside perspective, there's no value attached to it. But I think once you have it, it's invaluable to you, right? I wouldn't like now that I have that, like I've tapped into that and I have that voice and I have that relationship with the God in me, right? You can't pay me to get to disconnect from that shit, right? There's no amount of value that I would place on that thing. Like, okay, for this amount of money, I say fuck everything I hear and feel in here, and I'll do something that I know don't feel right or not aligned with my purpose.
With that being said, do you think you're an anomaly amongst your peer group, or is that the norm amongst your peer group?
If it was the norm, we'd be in a better fucking place.
So then that's the answer right there, right? Again, there's no value attached to loving internally. There's a value attached to this external goal. There's a value attached to whatever this achievement that's attached to whatever I can reach is.
And I'm saying that's the tangible stuff, right? If we can get away from all this tangible stuff that makes me pseudo valuable, right? Because it's not even this real value, right? But this thing that I kind of assume or pretend to be valuable. If we can get away from that thing, then what you will find is the actual value in being aligned in your purpose. The actual value that I feel, but I'm like, hell fucking no, I'm not doing that. Like, not for this, not for that, not for this, not for that. I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? And there is value in that I wouldn't. You don't got a check big enough for me to trade that.
So
shit.
I'm not disagreeing that exists. I absolutely live my life in that with that as a guidepost, with love as my guidepost.
But I'm saying I'm saying that's the real value though.
I don't disagree. I agree 100%. But what I'm saying is from a social, societal standpoint.
Yeah, I agree
that
with
is not the frequency in which we are operating under.
I agree with that.
That is not the pervasive frequency.
I agree with that.
The pervasive frequency is one of lack and materialism. You know what I mean? It's a lack mind state. So materialism becomes the aspiration. You understand? That lack mindset is only birthed through I don't feel whole internally. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Because if I felt whole internally, I wouldn't be operating from a space of lack, and none of this material shit could appease me.
Right.
The bubble and the Jordan, they gonna make me jump higher. Working on my goddamn leg strength will. But that's not the mindset. We're looking for the bubble and the Jordan. I don't want to go to the gym. I'm gonna get a fucking lap band. You understand what I'm saying? So my ass needs to be as big as everybody else's ass because this size ass is the standard ass. I don't have any internal value. I'm looking for external value. So I'm doing all this other shit to make an external value make me feel valuable internally.
So Mimi asks, how do you tap into, well, she's not actually asking, she's giving an answer. How do you tap into the God locked in us? Most ask themselves. Learning meditation and centering self to hear God is a way. I think that there has to be, some educational, informational component to this thing, right? To just like, it's one thing to say you got to tap into this thing. How? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do I tap into that thing? How do I find that to be more valuable than all this superficial shit that's happening around me?
I think love is contagious.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the only really answer, right? I think love is contagious. So I don't deem myself as special.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't seek this shit out. It's like, you know, there's a I forget the phrase. I think it's an African proverb that says, you know, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. You know what I mean? Somebody in the thread asked me, what's my favorite book of all time a minute ago, right? And my response was The Prophet by Khalil Muhammad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Khalil Gibran, right? That was my father's favorite book, right?
Mm-hmm.
My father gave everybody in my family that goddamn book. He gave me that book probably when I was like 13 years old.
Sure.
Little bitty ass book,
Sure.
you know, 100 pages maybe, right? My father used to praise this book all the time. I read that goddamn book 10 times. I was like, man, this is stupid as shit. And I kept reading it because I admired my father and I wanted to see what he saw in that goddamn book that
Right.
kept escaping me.
Right.
Right?
I got to be missing something.
I'm missing something because this is a piece of shit to me.
Right. But this dude is a genius.
But I value this dude's opinion, and I can't see why he values this piece of shit.
So I got to be missing something.
Something's happening here, right? My father passes away, and the universe forced me to go back to that book. I don't know why. And in that moment, I read that book and had a very different experience. And from that point on, it became my favorite book of all time. I got the shit tattooed on my arm. It means that much to me, right? But I read that shit 10 times before, and my mind was not able to interpret the fucking message. I had to experience some shit that made this message that much more valuable to me.
It has to be relevant, right?
Either way, as the student, there was no teacher prepared for me because I wasn't ready to hear the message.
Period.
You know what I mean?
Period.
But it's a fucking journey. And even my attachment to that book was rooted through love. I could have read that book that one time and frisbeed that motherfucker. But I was looking at the book because somebody that I love said, this is some shit that you need to grasp.
Right, but you couldn't.
But I couldn't
There was
grasp
no direct relation to it for you until it was.
Couldn't grasp
Yeah, until it was. R.O. says, my favorite is Pedagogy of the Oppressed, and it is a book I give to everyone. It sounds like a good book. I've never read it, but it does sound like something that would be very, very interesting. I want to check that out. Listen, until something is relevant to you through your own personal experiences, you can see it, hear it, somebody could suggest it to you over and over and over again. You mentioned that, like, finally understanding what your pops was trying to tell you to get out of that book, and now you have it tattooed. My very first tattoo was the Footprints poem. And it was something that I had seen, I don't know, 1,000 times maybe before in my life. Seen it on people's bathrooms, seen it hanging on people's walls, seen it here, seen it there, but it never really resonated with me. It's the poem, it's a spiritual poem about the dude in his dream, and in his dream, his life is flashing across the sky. All the major events of his life are flashing across the sky, and he notices that there are 2 sets of footprints along in the sand with him for each one of these events, except for the most challenging moments of his life. In the most challenging moments of his life, there's only 1 set of footprints there, right? And the 2 footprints, one was his, one was God's. And so in the moments where he only sees one, and then they are accompanying the most challenging moments of his life, it makes him upset. He gets pissed off. And he's like, yo, God, like, if you love me so much, how come in my most challenging moments did you leave me? And God's like, yo, my precious, precious child, I love you and I would never leave you. During your moments of trial and tribulation, when you see only 1 set of footprints, it was then that I carried you. And I had seen that thing so many times. But one day I saw it after I had really gone through some serious shit. And I had really gone through this point in my life where I was like, man, God, that's some bullshit. There's no way there's a God, and this is happening, and this is happening, and that's happened to me, and this happened to my family. Like there's no way. And then in that space, seeing the poem again and reading, I was like, yo, that's the realest thing I ever seen. Like, yeah, those are the most challenging moments in my life, and yeah, it looks like I was alone, but the truth is I couldn't have even made it through those fucking moments. Like I wasn't even strong enough to get through there. I could not walk. Like Like, the creator literally picked me up and carried me through that shit because I wouldn't have fucking made it on my own. And that shit spoke so loudly to me, man. I think I went and got it tattooed like that night. And I was like, I never want to forget that again. And now it's this, you know, not so subtle reminder to me all the time that, like, yo, we good. We can get through this shit. Like, we solid, stay tapped in, stay locked in. I haven't been disconnected ever since. And that is what also allowed me to unlock the God within myself, right? Because before then it was like, shit happens to me. Don't shit really happen to you, right? You authoring this fucking book, right? It's gonna go as you want it to go. And once you realize the power in that thing, man, it changes you. It changes you. It changes the way you think. It changes the way you see things. It changes the way you understand your relationships and your connections to other people and your connection to yourself and to this earth. And ever since then, I think I got this tattoo when I was like 19 or something like that. It changed. Everything was different after that. And certainly not free of trials and tribulations. Those continue to come, right? This last year is probably the toughest year I've ever had. But understanding, I have a new perspective on it now. And so I've gone through enough real shit in my life to where it's like, nah, just keep laying down, keep waking up, keep praying, keep working. This shit will pass. You will be just fine, right? Everything will be just fine. Your industry will come back. Your fucking Achilles will heal itself. Like everything you're dealing with will be fucking fine, right? Just keep going through it. Don't go around it. Don't try to find some other ways. Don't disconnect from it, right? Don't try to drown yourself in TV or music or alcohol or whatever the fuck it is. Like, go through the shit. You'll come out on the other side and you're going to be a better and stronger person for it.
Yeah, man, you can't run from it.
You can't. Ain't nowhere to run.
Right. But again, if it took me 10 years, 20 years maybe, I don't know, to even grasp that book a little bit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it was a commitment to trying to understand it that really brought me back to that understanding.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
What do we commit to?
Right.
You understand me? Because commitment means work, period. That's what commitment means.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because we're operating at this low frequency, we don't commit to very much. It doesn't take a commitment. When you start thinking about television, and the internet isn't much different, but you start thinking about television, they called it the idiot box. They called it the idiot box because not only does it provide the image, it also creates the message in which you're supposed to receive from the image. So your brain don't got to do no fucking work. When you sit down and read a book, your brain automatically starts to create imagery. So your brain is working. Even when you listen to music, your brain goes to a different frequency. As media changes, it dumbs down the society.
Right.
At least the media that we have, we've attached ourselves to, it dumbs us down.
Right.
And we've lost the value in committing to anything. And I'm not saying that's a reference point to media,
right,
but it's a reference point to the social standard in which we find ourselves in this space and place and time.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And because we don't have that alignment to commitment, and love itself is a commitment.
It is.
It's a commitment.
It's a every day. You got to make that decision every day.
It's a commitment.
Like it to yourself, to your partners, to your friends, whoever. Like you got to make that commitment every day.
It's a commitment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And very few of us are willing to make that commitment.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's the we don't see the journey. We only value the destination.
Right.
It's like Dr. Spock when he's like, beam me up, Scotty.
Right.
We don't want to walk the path or go up the elevator. We just want to show the fuck up what we want to show the fuck up.
Right.
But the value is in getting to that space, not just showing the fuck up.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
We want everything ready-made.
We don't see the value in the journey because we don't see the value in any commitment. And when you don't see the value in any commitment, then you will cut any line. Go through any, you would disrespect the journey as best you can because you don't see any value in the journey.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
So when the shorty say, I've been rapping for 3 months, but nigga, I done shot 85 niggas in the hood because shit, that's what's valuable.
Yeah.
But that's not really what he's saying.
Yeah.
What he's saying is what's valuable is me getting to this motherfucking check by any means necessary.
Yeah. Because
the check is God and the check is what creates value within me.
Yeah.
It's the same shit with Donald Trump.
Yeah.
It's the same shit with Oprah. We can go down the motherfucking line, bro.
Yeah.
Because that is your God. And we just happen to be showing up in this space and time, right? Now, maybe my fucking goal via the universe is to come and spread this goddamn gospel. Who's gonna hear that? I don't fucking know. But maybe that's what my journey was about.
Hey, my brother, we talk a lot, right? On air, off the air. We've been talking. We for the past 4 or 5 years, you and I have talked a whole lot. That shit, you were just preaching right there, bro. Like, that shit was hitting on a different level. Like, that shit was touching me in my motherfucking soul right now. It was hitting in my brain, but it was also hitting in my soul. That was absolutely a word, man. I appreciate you for it. We got to take a break, man. When we come back, I want to dive deeper into that conversation and more. This is I Said What I Said, live from the What's In It for the Black People Media Studios. Herb and 2 here with you till 6 o'clock. We'll be right back.
WIIFTV-PM.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
Tamika Scott. As we take this journey through life, we face trials and tribulations. But just know, the enemy is not gonna win, cause the storm is almost over. That's right, the storm is almost over.
Don't you give up, you come too far to turn back now. Hold your head up, it's almost over. So set up to take you to your destiny. It's gonna be alright. Everything happens for a reason. Yes, this is your season. Just keep on believing. Blessings you'll be receiving. Oh yeah, oh yeah. It will be alright. Throw your hands to the sky, lift your head up high. The storm is almost over. Everything's gonna work in your favor. You don't have to worry no more. What you're going through won't last. It's a test to take you higher. Just keep the faith, hold on, believe. Storm is almost, keep on moving. Don't let nobody stop you, no. You're getting closer. Almost over. You're a soldier. Now fight your way to victory. It's gonna be alright. Everything happens for a reason. Yes, this is your season. Just keep on believing. Blessings you'll be receiving. Oh yeah, oh yeah. It will be alright. Throw your hands to the sky, lift your head up high. The storm is almost over. Everything's gonna work in your favor. You don't have to worry no more. What you're going through won't last. It's a test to take you higher. Just keep the faith, hold on, believe. So dark clouds may rise, strong winds may blow. It's hard to see through the rain. You gotta hold on. Be strong. Almost over. Hands to the sky, your head up high. The storm is almost over. Everything's gonna work in your favor. You don't have to worry about it. What you're going through won't last. It's a test to take you higher. Just keep the faith, hold on, believe. Storm is almost over. Just hold on. Be strong. Don't give up. Just hold on.
Tune in every Sunday. Don't miss it. Live from the West Center for the Black People Media Studios. It is the Kickoff Kickback. Join the conversation with the brothers Eugene McIntosh, Herb Howard, and myself, Terrence Tomlin.
We got analysis live from the stadium. The brother Joe Lewis will be following through. We got great guests coming in, players, personnel, people.
Say what?
We do our thing every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, taking you right up to kickoff.
We picking the full slate of NFL games. We talking fantasy football. Gino got you covered on all the bets. It's a kickback.
Make sure y'all join the conversation. Smash that like button, smash that share button, and continue to help us push the culture forward.
Don't miss it every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, live here from the West Center for the Black People Media Studios.
That's why we shine wherever we go. 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 Lord, Lord. Welcome to the mind of a pothead. On my head, see a young nigga got dressed. We don't give a fuck what the cop said. I'm living a legacy. So even when I die, I am not dead. Nigga, I am not dead. Fuck with me.
And we are back with you wonderful people. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to I Said What I Said. We greatly appreciate each and every one of you guys. As always, your input is valued. It is certainly appreciated. Anything you want to add to the conversation, feel free to do so. You can leave your comments, or if you like, give us a call. The telephone number here is 872-259-7474, 872-259-7474. The phone lines are open. You can add your input to the conversation directly. We would love to hear from you in this last hour of I Said What I Said. Yo, the brother Darius Thomas, man, you said you got excited. You saw a quick peek of Esco. She walked in here a couple breaks ago. You was like, yo, I got me a peek of Esco. I'm happy about that. And I let her know, and I don't know how you knew that's what I was talking about, but you knew. And I was definitely trying to let her know. And so what she did was on the last break, she came back in here, walked right in front of the camera, bent over the table for you, just so you can get an extra peek.
Giving them
That's
that
a goddamn
low
line, you know
vibration.
it.
Huh?
Low vibration.
That ain't everybody saw it. You came right in here to the.
I'm
you
working.
Came,
I'm
you
working.
came right in here to the
Down
camera.
on the float.
Bent
on the
over,
float.
twerked something a little bit. Darius Thomas ain't 4 years old. You good? At least I don't think he's 4 years old.
On the float. On the float.
Real girls get. You right. You did get a little excited when I came on back there. It's cool. That's cool. You can't curve everybody. That's cool. It's cuffing season. See, look at her. Look at her. Then she gonna swear we blocking her game. Ain't nobody blocking your game.
Esco trying to vibrate higher. You see, she's not saying anything.
But it's written all over her face though.
You know, this show is new on this time slot, so I'm gonna let you guys get comfortable.
We'll leave that conversation right there, Darius. I'm working for you, brother. I'm working for you, brother. I'm working for you. What did we leave this joint off? I forgot. You had just dropped some preaching. That's what was going on. Somebody said, Herb, don't turn it into a what's the dude name? Van Jones, right? Like, don't make it a Van Jones moment. Now, I ain't gonna cry, man. I don't be crying. I don't know when the last time I've cried, bro. It ain't some shit I be on. It's weird. Are you in touch with your emotions like that? On some crying shit?
It's easier for a whole lot of people. If you're Muslim in this country, you don't have to worry if the president doesn't want you here. If you're an immigrant, you don't have to worry if the president's gonna be happy to have babies snatched away.
You can't even get your words out, fam.
Fuck Van Jones.
Fuck that dude, man. For real.
But so you said, am I in tune with my emotions? I think so, but
Not like in tune, but it's like
it don't exhibit itself like that.
Yeah, I can't. I just don't be moved to tears like that. It's weird to me. And some people are like, I don't know, because I just don't know what it solves, right?
So for me, in reference to that Van Jones bullshit, I think that's also that low vibration. You know what I mean? I think that, again, man, it's the goal, right? Where we place the goal, where the aspiration is. You know, I can't go back to Salim's comment, but he keeps talking about divine teachings and divinity and different esoteric religions and shit.
Right.
And we have to get to this kind of spiritual level. And all the time, I try to have a level of nuance in the conversation. And I know, you know, we got to be clear, right? I'm here in this space and place at this moment in time. Right. And if I have an understanding that most people are operating at XYZ frequency, and I'm not above that, right? I was born into the same space, so that frequency permeates in me as well, right? But I'm trying to have a conversation that allots for the elevation of that frequency. So you often hear that meet people where they are. Well, what I try to do is communicate where they are, but bring them up to a higher level. At least in my mind, that's what I'm trying to do. That's why I see it at. But I look at the Van Joneses of the world, And he's not the only one. In my opinion, Charlemagne. In my opinion, the other sister, the light-skinned sister that everybody talks about. I can't think of her name
putting
right
on.
now. It's all a fucking act. But it's an act to help them meet their aspirational goal.
Capitalism.
Capital. That's it. That's it. And that's a problem for me because it's just reinforcing the low vibration.
But what's so crazy about that is when you hear it from like Charlemagne, he presents it from this spiritual place. Like he's reached this spiritual awakening, which I understood Angela Rye. Shout out to R.O. Double for coming through
Angela
with that.
Rye, yeah.
He comes at it from this spiritual place. Like he's got this spiritual awakening. And for me, it's like, bro, that's not true, right? Because while you were going through this spiritual awakening, is at the same time, for a reason that you won't admit to, your skin got 5-6 shades lighter. Bro, just say you went and got your fucking skin light. Don't tell me no kind of stupid shit about why that happened. Like that's you and
he got a better diet and a better
and that's real and all that shit can happen through that, right? But he was like nah, nah, fam. Like it is what it is. Like you're not going through this spiritual awakening and still hating your fucking skin color like that.
So I don't know. I don't want to put that on the man. I don't got no proof.
I said that.
You know what I mean? But what I do know is that we champion certain behaviors. You know what I mean? Think about this, man. You know, I'm also a student of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. You know, and I want to say personal relationship. It's not that intimate, but I've had
y'all know each other.
Personal, communications with him several different times. But just looking at the minister from afar, man, like the way he navigates and manages conversations, like the shit is like watching ballet. G. It's graceful. You know what I mean? It's graceful. Even when he's shitting on you, it's a beautiful dance.
It's an artistic way he does it.
This shit is like ballet, G, right? And one of the things that the minister's always said is that I'm just a fucking vessel, though. The universe is just speaking through me. I'm not specifically sitting here trying to shit on you. That's not my goal. My goal is to tell the truth.
Right.
The truth as which I deem to be the truth.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And for me, like I've always kind of been a fan of like great orators.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And, whether it be Jeremiah Wright, whether it be the minister, I can go down the fucking line. That shit is just beautiful, right? But it's also, again, something spiritual attached or entrenched in how they communicate, right? And I don't got that. I ain't at that level. I know that. You know what I mean? Maybe that's my aspiration.
I don't know, bro.
You know what I mean?
That the way you closed out that last hour.
But listen, they do this shit.
That was solid, my G.
It's just like they shit is on go.
I know it's different.
You know what I mean?
It's different.
But my point in even saying that shit is that they're on go. It's like the way their message travels is very different than the way any message from me has ever traveled. You know what I mean? And
I don't know that to be true, my brother.
And I admire it. You know what I mean? So maybe again, out of the frequency in which I've been born into this moment in time, which I've been born into, maybe I might see it one way aspirationally, but maybe it translates in another way. So in that vein of the Angela Ryes or the Charlemagne's or whatever, Charlemagne gets this kind of name from shitting on people, right? Angela Rye in a lot of ways kind of gets her name from kind of shitting on people too because, she shits on people who disagree with her on TV. That's kind of what built her brand the way it built her brand. She's the angry black woman, that argumentative, snap on you, that type of shit kind of elevated her to the conversation. And again, y'all call me a fucking curmudgeon. Curmudgeon. You know what I mean? So maybe that's the same energy of this moment. I don't know. Right? But I think there's a beauty in the way those people from that other frequency move and elevate the message. Yeah. And I would much rather be in that space. So I think the problem with the Charlemagne's, I think the problem with the Charlemagne's for me and the problem with the Angela Ryes for me is that in essence, what I know is that they don't even have the level of information that I have. And I ain't even talking about no spiritual shit. Fuck the nuance of that. I'm talking about just the basic understanding of politics and the basic understanding of the positioning that black people are in. I don't know if they don't understand it or they're just not speaking to it because they're in a different tax bracket. But if you speak to it and you recognize it, the conversations that they often have publicly, you couldn't have.
Let me say, too, is being hard on, too, man. Like I see all of that greatness and ability in you just when you talk, and I see how your message does pervade. Like I see all of those types of things, right? And I agree with the brother Darius, although I think he's just throwing compliments out so I can keep working for him on ESCO. But I appreciate that, right? And I do see those abilities in both of us as orators. Man, I've told you this, and maybe I've said it on the show before, but as much as I've like spoken at different places, different size rooms and crowds or whatever, the only time I've ever really felt like nervous is speaking at the mosque. Like, it's something about getting up there on that stage and speaking, and I really think it's just because I know the minister has spoken there so many times. I really think that's what it's about. I think it's the history of that particular podium, that particular stage. It's just like yo, I'm up there nervous as shit, right? The first time they invited me to speak up there, I don't remember what happened, but I didn't get to speak. I was there, and I thought I was prepared, but I didn't get to speak, and I've never been so happy in my life, dog. Oh, my God. Dog, I'm back there nervous as shit. I'm sweating through my suit. I'm like, oh, my God, I got to stand up here and say something, right? And I don't even know. I'm not a Muslim, right? So, they all open up their speeches the same way. I don't open mine that way. I don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I bear witness to... Listen, hey, thanks for having me. You hear me? So the first time I didn't get to speak, I was happy as shit, like, thank the Lord. And I ended up speaking the next week, and I've been back there. I've been invited back, and I've probably spoken there maybe 2 or 3 times now. But, man, it's something about that particular stage that makes me nervous as shit. And I haven't spoken at Trinity. I'm a member at Trinity. I've never, stood up there to speak, I don't think. But, hearing Jeremiah A. Wright speak, for me, hearing Pastor Otis Moss III speak, that shit, you are now watching a master at work. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that type of ability. And I love to watch any master do their thing. I don't care if you're a master bowler, master speaker, whatever it is that you are a master of. I love to watch people do things that they have mastered. And so I'm a fan of all of those dudes to speak. It moves me in a really, really powerful way. And again, I'm not religious, nothing like that, but sometimes Pastor Moss get on the roll and I can't do nothing but just stand up. I don't really have nothing to say. I'm not a shouter and screamer. I'm not thumping and all that. I'm just standing up yo, he is in his bag right now. Like he is talking to my soul right now. And I don't know how he knows me this well.
Adrian Anderson said, dude, who was letting you speak at the mosque? No shade. First of all, Adrian Anderson.
That's all shade.
We all spoke at the mosque several times.
Right.
Check our resumes out here. Understand me? We just show up like this. You dig?
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, but again, even that faith, is creating some great orators out of that building specifically, right? Because I love the minister, but Brother Jeffrey gets down, Brother Joseph gets down. Yeah. Brother Daniel gets down.
Absolutely,
a lot
he does.
Of little dudes get down.
Absolutely,
and I don't mean little dudes in that sense, but they get down.
Nah, they get down, man.
It is an art form, and it is important, right? So again, everybody has a value in the environment, right? In the what do they call it?
The lexicon?
Not just the lexicon. I forgot what they call it. This is the scientific term for that shit.
Okay.
But there's a value in being able to communicate. Yeah. Right? And that's why music is so pervasive.
Yep. That's why music is a universal language.
Valuable. Why it's a universal language,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So and music is in a lot of ways is math, because when you start counting the percussion, when you start counting the beats, they say math is the only universal language.
Yeah, right.
But
music is math.
But music is math.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it permeates,
right.
and it does.
5, 6,
it does
7, 8
touch
type shit.
You spiritually. It can elevate
dancing too.
It can elevate you. It can elevate your vibration.
Which is why dancing accompanies a lot of things in church. You know what I'm saying? Spiritual.
Or it can pull your vibration down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It goes both ways. You know what I'm saying? It can shine your light, or it can turn that motherfucker off.
That's real. And you get people who use those words in that way, like Minister Ishmael,
cold.
He could be a pimp. I
would have never said that.
Okay, I said it.
That's crossing the line.
I be talking to Minister Ishmael, and I'm like, yo, he talking like his words float. You know what I'm saying? It's my brother, and it's his words just kind of float all the time. He's like, man, he could get somebody to do anything. I said what I said, man. I ain't taking it back.
They all dope.
We got to take a break. When we come back from that, see who else I can't take from the pulpit to Madison and Pulaski. This is I Said What I Said. Herb and 2 here with you for about another 45 minutes or so. We'll be right back.
WIFTV PM.
Black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and
TheBlackMall.com and Black Coin presents Buy Black Weekend, November 27th through the 30th, making it easy for you to buy black with amazing black-owned vendors and business owners. This weekend is jam-packed with Buy Black Friday, Super Black Saturday, Awards Sunday, and Black Monday, where we are virtually featuring, awarding, and shopping with the most blacknificent black-owned businesses in the Chicagoland area. And they're going to have crazy holiday deals. Visit theblackmall.com today and click on the Buy Black Weekend banner so you can RSVP and stay in the know. You can also become a featured business, but register right away before they're gone. For more information and check out our featured businesses, go to theblackmall.com. Buy Black. It's a lifestyle.
Maze Jackson.
If you could make up a social media holiday, what would it be?
Randy said National Don't Let No One Put You Down Day.
No one. What you gonna do? So when they say something crazy, you slap them?
Be like me said. Remy said a Jukathon Day.
Man, we about 60 years old. I be done had a heart
You
attack.
gotta get your heart rate up.
Okay, not that far.
All right, Mario said my favorite one. My friends and I do what we call National Call Off from Work Day.
As a business owner, I don't.
You don't like that, yeah.
I don't like that.
Because I'm the boss of this family.
We got Marcus Garvey Day from Remy too.
Oh, Marcus Garvey Day. All right, what will we do on Marcus Garvey Day?
Call off from work.
I'm gonna need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. That would be great. Okay?
Yeah, right. Every black holiday has something to do with calling off from work.
You're cool. You, I'm out.
How about National Join a Positive Black Organization Day? Because I don't want to be recruited. I don't want to be recruited and the brothers be like, thank you. Thank you. How about National Tell White People the Truth Day? Tell them how you really feel.
You can't handle the truth. Why don't we call that National Black People Get Locked Up Day?
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Hello.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
WIFTBPN. Live from What's in It for the Black Media Studio. You're listening to I Said What I Said.
Wait, what did you say?
I said you're listening to I Said What I Said.
I just said that. I know you just said that. That's what I just said. That's what I'm saying to you. Exactly. What he just said.
With Herb Howard and Toussaint Werner.
That's about one of the nicest things you ever said. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
What's happening, good people? Welcome back. We are live from the beautiful What's in It for the Black People Media Studios alongside Toussaint Werner. My name is Herb Howard. The great, the one and only Miss Sonia Escobar is behind the glass in the production studio doing all of the hard work. And y'all are hanging out with us, and we are so grateful. Thank y'all so very, very much for choosing to be a part of the conversation. As always, your input is valued. It is certainly appreciated. Anything you want to leave in the comments, we will read through as many of them as possible. Also, if you want to call in, you can do so as well. The telephone lines are open to you. 872-259-7474, 872-259-7474. I know y'all don't really like to call and talk to us. Y'all like to just type to us, and that's cool too. I'm trying to read the comments to see if we can keep up with y'all. I can see the final call headline now. Herb Howard calls. What did he say? Herb Howard calls Ishmael Big Man. Listen, Q, you know how he talking, man. You know he floats on words, man. It's different. It's different. I didn't mean no disrespect to the minister, but I said what I said. I'm not taking it back. I meant it. Like that's how he talks. But so did Malcolm X. I don't really get that vibe. I don't get that vibe from the honorable minister. But Malcolm X and Minister Ishmael, like, they talk it like that, man. They just, I don't know. It comes out of their mouth like that. That's how it hits my ear.
I get it from the minister too. They are. I mean, I don't mean your vibe.
No, you already said it.
Not the pimp
No,
vibe.
you already said it. That's what I was talking about.
I mean the way that they sing syllables together. You know what I mean?
It's different, man.
Yeah, it's the way they articulate language is different. But it's just like it's that same old Baptist preacher. You know, it's that kind of even the word becomes song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's how they preach the word. And again, I'm not getting caught up in the preaching of the shit. For me, even how I listen to rap music, right? Even as a shorty, I've never been one for the beat. I can like the beat, but I listen for the words, right? That's how my brain works. I'm listening for the words. I want to hear the words.
I want the perfect 16 over a tight beat.
That's great, but therein lies the difference in how
Yeah.
I came up like Nas is gonna be my favorite, Common is gonna be my favorite.
Yeah.
I want to hear Jay's one of my. I want to hear how they use their use of language.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But that's just the vibration I've always been tuned into. But again, even in that sense, just being aware, I was aware that most of the people in my peer group wasn't listening with that keen kind of an ear. They were listening for, like you said, the dope beat over the, like my cousins are musicians, right? And they came up, we would be in the basement, they love music. And they would turn some music on, man. They would change that music every 15 fucking seconds. They hear it for the beat and turn that shit off and go to the next. And that used to drive me fucking crazy.
Right.
Because you don't get the words.
You don't even know what the song is.
What the fuck? I'm here to hear the song,
Right.
right? But they
Right.
listen differently. They hear differently.
Just for the beat.
Right. Their brains was wired differently.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Genius dudes in the way they maneuver and manage music.
Yeah.
I couldn't do none of the shit they did.
Yeah.
But I used to hate being in that motherfucking basement because it was like, man, what the fuck are you doing? Let
Well,
the song rock.
I like watching that behind the scenes process, like just being in the studio with great artists. I kind of just like to watch them. Like I said earlier, I like to watch masters at work at doing whatever they do, whether I have that skill set or not. I can't rap. I ain't nobody's producer or none of that. But to sit in there and watch them do their thing, I love it. Like the Black Album documentary, right? To see Jay when he was saying that was going to be his last album, to watch him go through that process and how all of those songs came about, songs that I came to love, and then to go back and see how they actually came about when he first hears those tracks. But also watching them go through 50 tracks, like, oh, this is fucking terrible. No, I don't want that beat. No, that beat is trash. No, that beat don't speak to me. And then that one beat come on, it's like, yo, he stood up like, yo, this fight. And you see him start mumbling to himself, and it's like, that's finna be raw.
But see, you younger than me too, so you might not have experienced hip hop in the same way I experienced hip hop, and I say that in the sense of how that vibration has shifted, and how you can see the change in the energy that music is permeating.
Yeah, for me that real connection comes from that 13 to 18, 19, 20, and then everything after that you kind of set and you evolve whatever. But you know, being 13 at this point and then being 13 10 years later, there's a difference for sure.
Yeah. So, but you being born in the age bracket that I've been born into, you can see that vibration shift. You can see the effects and how it shifted over time, right? So in the beginning, it was kind of this party vibe, and then that party vibe swiftly changed to this kind of political, social, and black consciousness.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
And, you know, it's like Greta today when you see all the shorties in the neighborhoods wearing locks, right? They wear locks as a emblem to kind of identify criminality.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I do.
And this goes back to that circular kind of thing, right? That vibration and where we are on the continuum.
Right.
When hip hop was trying to birth in my generation, people started to wear locks again, but it was getting back to their African roots, right? So it's interesting to see how capitalism and how messaging has criminalized the hairstyle that was once linked to consciousness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? But again, it's how we vibrate.
Yeah.
Right? It's how we vibrate. Right? So if you listen to old Bob Marley clippings, old Bob Marley conversations, they would talk to him about his hair. And he would talk about the strength of, you know, Ja being in his hair.
Right.
You know, I'm the power of my kinky locks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what's the Bible story? I can't think of the dude's name, but his power was in his hair. Shorty kept cutting his hair off and taking his power. I forgot. His name will come to me. It don't even matter.
I don't know the Bible like that. But my point is, Bob spoke to that in his music and in his interview, right? Now we have 20 years later, a generation that wear those same hairstyles, but it has a completely different meaning to them. It's just, it's not rooted in any tradition or any culture. It's just rooted in a look, right? So you get all this symbolism without the substance because it's not backed in the commitment of the understanding of where that shit came from. It's not backed in the commitment of tradition.
Samson. Thanks, Phil. Appreciate
Samson,
you.
yeah. But it's not backed in the commitment of the tradition. So once something meant for good is now relevant or leverage that's bad because the vibration has just shifted. You know what I mean? The vibration shifted. But in that time, when hip hop was kind of changing to this kind of political and socially conscious thing, where, you know, you had like apartheid in South Africa, like you had young 13, 14-year-old kids talking about apartheid in South Africa. 13, 14-year-old kids in our communities today, and I hate to say this, but I'd be hard-pressed to believe they know who Malcolm X is. I'd be hard-pressed to believe they know who Martin Luther King is. And I'm using them names specifically on purpose.
Yeah.
So you get past King.
If you don't know them two, you don't know nothing else.
Definitely don't know nobody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But here in my generation, we're 13, 14, and we're talking about shit that's happening on a whole nother goddamn continent, in a whole nother goddamn country. You know what I mean? We're uniquely attached to this because the messages, the pervasive messages at the time was kind of this universal understanding or this universal attachment to blackness
Mhm.
in the scope of the diaspora, right? So it gives us a unique view. Like you had the poor righteous teachers that pushed me to, they come a lot of this, all this shit was coming out of New York at the time,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So you got people talking about the 5%ers, you got people talking about Garveyism, you got people talking about, and this is on record,
Mhm.
right? So what did that shit do? Because I'm under the spell of this vibration, it forced my hand to go figure out what the fuck they was talking about.
Right.
Right? What the fuck am I listening to? I'm
Right.
studying the 120. God, what the fuck does that mean?
Right.
Right? So if I'm cool, because I'm attached to this music, I'm going to go back and figure out what the fuck the 120s are.
Mhm.
If
Mhm.
I'm cool and I want to know what the shit I'm reciting is, I'm going to go back and see who Marcus Garvey was.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So today the vibration is lower. I got 30 poppers, nigga, and I'm taking Xannies and Percocets. Still, the kids react the same
I got
way.
now. What's a
I wanna
what's a
see what the 30
Xanny?
pop is.
What's
I
a
wanna
what's a
see what the
Percocet?
Xanny is. I
How
wanna
does that
see-
make me feel?
What does that do?
Right.
It's just the lower vibration.
It's what you
But
tied into.
legitimately watching this shit firsthand, it's like living in the Truman Show.
Yeah.
It's like living in the TV show. Like
Yeah.
you can see the shit shift over time.
Yeah. No, it's a real thing, man. And I appreciate everybody coming through. Let me know that I was trying to speak of story of Samson and Delilah, and he was, lost in the sauce, right? He was caught up on that frequency of vibing out with Shorty, and so although he knew, right, my power was in my hair, so she kept easing up on him. Tell me how you get all this power. How you get all this power, right? She's trying to rob him of his power, and he's steady gassing. He's telling her, oh, it's in this, it's in that. My power's in this, my power's in that. And every time he would tell her what his power was in, she would then destroy that thing in hopes of robbing him of his power and then sending the goons in to come whoop his ass, rob him, kill him, whatever, right? And even though he keeps seeing her do this nigga keeps laying down with her and keeps telling her shit that he thinks that for her to think that this is where his power comes from. Ultimately, to the point where it's about being in his hair. It's like, even though you see the bullshit happening right in front of you, right? You still are so beholden to this thing that you want. For him, it was her company and companionship on that evening, right? For us, it's the money. It's the same. It's also the company and companionship. It's the reputation. It's all that extra bullshit. And even though you understand exactly what this thing is doing to you, you still stuck in it. You still can't get yourself to not fucking do the shit. Like he broke out of this shit 6-7 times. She sent niggas in there to fuck him up. He beat their ass every time. But even though she keeps doing this, you keep laying down with her. Like, and it's like, I don't know how to get people off of that fucking hamster wheel.
All of those spells are seductive, though.
100%.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Dope to the dope fiend is seductive.
It's dope.
Ooh, I want this.
It's dope.
Right? Sex to the sex fiend is seductive. It's the same thing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Ooh, I want this.
Power of the P-U-S-S-Y. I agree.
Power.
That's why DeMela. Power.
It's seductive.
Power.
All of them want it. You know what I mean? So it's hard to let go. That shit is it's like an addiction. I need this. I always need this. I always need this. And when you are addicted to something, then you no longer have your power. That thing in which you are addicted to has power over you.
You attach your value to some other shit. You attaching your value to her, right? When really, you really know what your value is, right? But you not tapped into that no more. You tap into this whole other thing, which is then allowing you to be robbed of what your actual value is. We actually have to take a break. When we come back, we will actually begin to put a bow on this conversation for today. This is I Said What I Said. Herb and Tool here with you for another half hour. We'll be right back.
WIFTBPM.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality Black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe Black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of Black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Check, 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 check. rock my boat. Oh, please, don't you rock my boat. Oh, no, 'cause I don't want my boat to be rocked. I'm telling you just I like it like this. Keep this like this. And you should know by now. I like it. I like it like I like it. I like it like I like it. I like it like I like it like this. Yeah.
That is why she is the absolute best. Her name is Sonia Escobar. We just call her the GOAT around here, man. That's a vibe right there. Esco, appreciate you on that one. That got me wanting to, kick back.
Satisfied my soul.
Go link up with my cousin after.
Yeah.
With the lemonade.
Yeah, that's one. I just want to kick back, like out there on the beach. Not in Chicago.
For me.
In Jamaica. Smoke one. Just chilling, man. Just a whole ass vibe. One night I spent the night out there on the beach in Jamaica. Just like outside. Like, feel good. It's warm enough. You're just out there chilling. The breeze is dope as hell. Feels amazing. That's a vibe.
Jamaica was an interesting trip for me.
In what way?
I had a lot of interesting experiences in Jamaica.
Okay.
All of them was not necessarily good experiences. Right? I had to pull my Chicago card a whole bunch of times.
Well, keep it with you, man.
Damn, hold on. The South Side ain't much different than Kingston, motherfucker.
Never leave home without it, my G.
Pull it if you want to, motherfucker.
Never leave home without your Chicago card.
I vibrate low too, motherfucker.
I'm on that. Whatever you want, I'm on that too, fam.
Hold on, fam.
Whatever you want, I'm on that too. I don't know the terrain. I don't have access to everything I got access to back at the crib, but if you on that, I'm on that too.
It was beautiful, but they was pulling my card a lot. Maybe it's just light skin shit. I don't know, but I was like, hold on, motherfucker. What the game is this?
Nah, I dig it, man. I like Jamaica a lot, man. I got married out there, and then I've gone back a couple of times after that too. I think that was my first. I don't know, whatever. But I fuck with Jamaica, man. It's dope, man. The culture out there is fire. The people, the food, the women. Jesus Christ, the women. Like, yo, you go to one of the get off the resort, go to the club and shit. Fam.
A man.
Yeah, them too, Esco. Yeah, them too. But they do some whole other shit. You like the dancing they be doing, I'm talking about in the hood spots. Like if I'm go out, anytime I go anywhere, right? There's only 4 things I want to do. Any city, any place I go to, I want to see your best neighborhood. I want to see your worst neighborhoods. I want to go to the strip club, and I want to have food. Well, it's 5 things. I want to have the food that's synonymous with that particular region or culture. And then I want to do some of the obligatory tourist shit. Those are the 5 things I want to do. Give me the obligatory tourist shit, best neighborhoods, worst neighborhoods, strip club, food. I'm ready to bounce. There's nothing else I need to do in your city.
I just want to touch the people, G. I love learning about new cultures. I'm saying the same thing.
In the people. I want to ride the train. I do that kind of shit. I rather train more when I'm somewhere else than when I do at the crib. Because that's just a good way to feel a city.
Yeah, I do want to touch people. I hate going somewhere and spending the whole time on a resort. That shit's like a waste to me. That's so whack.
It's a good time too, but I like to get off and do some other shit. But you get off and go to the hood spots out there and go to the parties. Nigga, I used to think we was juking when I was shorty. They trying to hurt each other.
That's different.
y'all dead ass flipping off the bar and body slamming chicks. Like y'all wilding, son. Like, nah, I don't want to dance, shorty. I'm good. I'm gonna sit back here and sip this rum and watch y'all. Like, do y'all shit, fam. Cause it's next level dancing going on in them fucking dance halls and shit.
But in a lot of ways too, though, you could also see how that American culture permeates in them places. You know what I mean? And how that value system is attached to it. And you can see the kind of diversity in it as well, though. But I think that it's interesting. Man, I was listening to an interview this weekend from Sly Polaroid. You're an East Side boy, so you know Sly, right?
Yeah, of course.
So for those of you who don't know, Sly's he's a rapper, but he's like a Chicago legend. Like, he might have not have made it on the national stage, but locally.
Sly that dude.
Sly's one of them guys, right? Yeah. And Sly is the genuine article. Like when you start talking about street cats,
Yeah, slang bullshit.
He's the genuine article. You know what I mean? Been the genuine article before anybody knew his name on the rap side.
Parents say I'm bad for the kids because I let them see my bang if they ask me to see it.
Right.
I throw my middle finger up when I'm passing the pigs. Like, he used to wild out. Like,
Sly was that original dude. You know what I mean? And I know Sly like in real life, and even before like he had the name that he has now.
Yeah.
But Sly was on this interview, man, and he was talking about the shorties today, and he was like, man, I don't understand it. He was like, you know, they're not even rooted in the same warped sense of value that I even had.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he acknowledges fully that I had a warped value sense.
Yeah, it's real hard not to.
And he was like, but they're not even rooted in that shit. You know, and they was asking him certain questions about like what young cats does he like and which cats, you know, this and that. And he's like, I'm hard pressed to even say who I like, because just saying I like certain cats will put me in a situation that I don't want to be in.
It's different.
You know what I mean?
Honor
like,
amongst
that's
thieves.
how
Even
low we vibrate.
Yeah,
Like, you can't even be a fan of some shit that's attached to the opposition.
Nah, even niggas that's playing yo low frequency game, they still on a lower frequency than like used to. Like, and we had this conversation a lot about, especially you. You mentioned this a lot about being like what's right or wrong, right? And you know, in the past couple months, you've kind of been toying with this idea of like there ain't really no such thing, right? About what's right and what's wrong. And I think to a character like Omar in The Wire, right?
That's Sly.
right.
In real life.
Omar is a notorious dude. He got a shotgun with him all the time. He'll up that thing on anybody. However, he has a strict code of conduct that he adheres to religiously, right? I'm not going to put my gun on nobody that's not in the game, right? Like, if you in the game, it's cracking for you. It don't matter if you're a shorty, woman, whatever. If you are in the dope game, you in the game. But if you're not, then I am of no threat to you in any way, shape, or form. And I'm not going to have me or anybody around me harm y'all in any kind of way. He had a strict code of conduct. And for me, it's like, yo, yeah, even though he killed as many people on the show as anybody else, even though he robbed niggas for millions of dollars over the course of that show, I'm like, yeah, Omar's one of my favorite characters. He's one of the most honorable men on this, most honorable characters on this show. And I think that, you know, even if you on that side of the line of what other people would deem legal or right or wrong, I don't really deem it that way, right? You an outlaw, whatever, right? But there still can be a code of conduct, and I think that to the point that Sly was making, that code of conduct don't even exist no more.
Yeah, but it don't exist in the streets, and we talk about it not existing in the streets, right? What I want us to do is to mature our conversations, though, and let's mature them to talk about them to how they don't exist anywhere.
Hey, Esco, did I just see you give Darius your number?
She hit him with the DM.
You said slide in the DM?
Hit him with the DM. I saw that.
Adrian.
Hit me in the
Sure,
DM.
Adrian.
Hit me in the DM. Goes down
Darius,
in
that
the
was
DM.
to you, my G. Slide in the DM.
It goes down in the DM. But yeah, though. But to the point of Omar having the code, man, I think that's kind of what I mean. Is like no one has a code anymore, right? Because there is no standard, right? Capital is the standard. So hence, when we see our shorties out here talking about they savages, they mean it. They savages.
In
Nothing
a real way.
means anything to me.
Nah.
Right? And to assume that our women are not being affected by that same energy would be foolish. Which you get the stripper dancing on the 4-year-old kid in the party. Because there are no rules.
Yeah, like.
There are no standards.
Like,
right?
oh, you
And we
can't
talk
do
about
that.
We talk about it from the standpoint, I look at it even in this sense, right? And this is not that I'm anti-homosexual. I don't really give a fuck what you do in your private time.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But I do have a problem when we start putting out pervasive images of men, specifically black men, moving in the space and place of femininity. Specifically, you know, when you see them on TV with tights and purses and
man.
all those type of things, right?
Yeah, man.
So, not to say that homosexuality is an abomination or anything. It don't even have to be, right? But the image that you're presenting is not one of a homosexual. The
That's a
image
problem.
that you're presenting is one of a woman.
It's a problem.
Right? So you start to having these wild-ass conversations. I heard a conversation before I came in here today about Terry Crews asking why can't his kids claim to be white? Why can't they be transracial? Right?
Yeah.
By the very definition of the word trans is to move away from.
Very few Omars, Shaka. Very, very few Omars.
Right? It's to move away from. It's not, so his kids are biracial, right? I don't know Terry Crews' life like that. But to be transracial, and specifically if they're getting called black today, what he wants to do is move away from blackness.
Yeah, you're trying to escape.
You know what I mean? Just like a transsexual is moving away from
You're trying to
maleness
escape.
or femaleness. I want to move away from this shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I don't want to be this thing. I want to be something else.
I'm trying to escape this reality. Hence, the line keeps getting blurred. And I'm using homosexuality versus heterosexuality, but we could go along the lines of even when we start talking about what they call it, sex worker culture.
Hey, ease up on my.
I don't give a
ease
fuck
up
how
on
you
my
feel.
people.
But all of this shit starts to come out, and all the lines keep getting pushed. Now sex working is in our community. If we're gonna be real with it at this moment, it's a heralded profession.
Oh, absolutely.
That's aspirational to the young girls in our community.
Absolutely. I've given the example several times of coming across that video where the kindergarten graduation, the girl walked across stage and they asked her what she wanted to be. She said a stripper.
And if it ain't a stripper, we got to be real. Is Cardi B a sex worker?
That girl that was at that graduation, shorty that was at the stripper party the other day.
Cardi B winning whatever, Megan Thee Stallion winning the American Music Awards last night.
Yeah.
Cardi won the American Music Award. Megan is heralded as the best rapper of 2020.
Yeah.
Right? What messages are they permeating in our communities?
I agree with you.
Right?
But
and I'm not putting this on women. I'm saying this is how
it's the
low
culture.
the
I'm
frequency is.
And I'm saying this, like when I push back when you talk about the sex worker thing or whatever, the stripper thing or whatever, right? Whole behavior, however people want to term it. I push back on those things because of the same reason that I push back on. I'm about to tell you why, Esco. I push back on them for the same reason that I push back on this idea of Omar just only being a bad dude. I disagree. I think Omar is a good dude, right? And I know, how can you say, like, he was this, he was that? I get it, right? But there's a way to do everything. And so I'm not going to say just because you're a stripper, you're bad. No, if you're a stripper shaking your ass on a 4-year-old baby, you're fucking bad. Just a stripper, no, right? Just being in the fucking dope game, bad? No, who the fuck am I to say that, right? But if you're going to do it in a certain way where you getting innocent people caught up in this game who didn't choose to be a part of this game, you choose to play that game, that's on you, right? But there's a way to do everything. And I'm not going to just condemn a motherfucker because of the way they choose, because of what they choose to do. How they choose to do it, that matters to me. And so I think that you can be an honorable stick-up man. I think you can be an honorable stripper. Like that's what I think. Is there some risk?
I think what's the problem, though, again, it's not the shit on any one community. It's not the shit on any one identity or sect or any of that. I think the problem is that we are out of balance. You know what I mean? So
I agree there.
How many people are aspiring to be mechanics versus aspiring to be strippers or aspiring to be Cardi B? How many people are aspiring to be leaders of the community instead of people who take from the community? Right. We are out of balance. Right. There's no yin without a yang. There's no good without bad. But when the shit is out of balance, we start to sink in our frequency.
Now you fucked.
And we're definitely out of balance.
Right.
You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is our community isn't the only one out of balance. What I'm saying is that the entirety of the planet is out of balance. Now, because of our social standard in our community, that out of balance reverberates higher because we don't have shit, right? So you can't mask it with the Band-Aid of capital. You know what I mean? It's easier to keep a family together for a long amount of time if you can mask the shit with capital.
Sure.
Everybody in that family might be fucking crazy, but everybody's comfortable sleeping in this goddamn house. You understand? Whereas when poverty hits, everybody in that family crazy, you can't hold this house together. It don't happen that way. You know what I mean? So the kid that's coming up in poverty in this out of balance ass community, this out of balance ass environment, at what someone in a balanced home might experience at 18, he's experiencing it at 11. Right?
Yeah.
At 18, we don't have no food on the table, or we're struggling to get food now. Right? 11, I'm dealing with this shit. Right? I don't have the skill sets. I don't have the understanding. I don't have the capacity to be a goddamn grown person and take care of myself and my siblings.
Yeah.
But I have to.
Yeah.
Right? So because there are no protectors for me, then I'm going to be controlling the energy of this household. And I'm going to do that through whatever means possible. And the means that are offered to me are usually offered via the underworld economy. So if that means I got to pop a motherfucker, I'm a pop a motherfucker. If that means I got to sell some coochie, I'm going to sell some coochie. If that means I got to sell dope, I'm going to sell. If it means I'm selling cigarettes or just snatching purses and running, I'm going to survive. Right? But the shit is out of balance because there is no spiritual grounding. That's just one portion of it. Right? But the other portion, part of the lack of that spiritual grounding is this this aspiration toward materialism, this aspiration toward capital. It's like it's working in unison. The more we're striving for this materialistic shit, the more God is escaping our body. You know, the more spiritual shit is escaping our body because the less value we see inside of us, the less value we see in the internal, and the more valuable we seek in the external.
Our compass is offset.
Right.
We need
It's
to
like,
recalibrate.
I said
and
a
get our
long
North
time
Star
ago,
in the
man, when
proper
I was a shorty, my first car was an 87 Color Supreme, right? If you're
Raw.
from Chicago, those is like the dope boy hood special car. Every young boy in my era wanted the Color Supreme. Right? Now, I'm young boy seeing the older dope boys like, that's the shit. They the man. I want to be like them. Right? No reference point for nothing about how much that car costs.
Don't matter.
No reference point about gas. None of that. None
Does
of that.
it matter,
No
sir?
reference points. It doesn't matter. It's just these are the dudes I look to. This was what
And
they
that's
was
what they
in.
driving.
They the shit. I want to be the shit. Right?
Yeah.
I turned 17, 18. I'm able to stack my little bread. I could buy me a Cutlass. My Cutlass cost $2,500. I got the billets and the steering wheel and the rims, probably $4,500 in totality.
Right.
I'm the shit.
You can't do better.
Right? I'm the man in the
You
shit.
can't do better than me.
Right?
I don't care what you got. My car is at least as good.
Absolutely.
Brand new Benz off the lot,
Right.
whatever.
But look at this.
Like a fresh pair of white ones. I
Look
don't
at
give a
that.
fuck what kind of shoes you got
My
on.
goal was achievable because capitalism hasn't calcified at that time in the way that it does now.
Sure.
It's not as out of balance as it was. It's more out of balance now than it was then.
Sure.
So now you got the 14-year-old and he's looking and he sees that Cutlass and he's like, man, that's a piece of shit.
Right.
I need a Bentley, nigga.
I need a Rari right now.
I need
sir.
a Rari. I need a Ferrari. I got to have a car that costs a house.
Yeah, because it's
right?
different.
Now you might not ever achieve that, but that's where your aspiration
That's what you're
lies.
constantly trying to get at.
That's your goal, right? Because this is the only thing that's gonna provide me value. My 87 Colors did the same thing for me in that moment, but that was an achievable aspiration.
It was the Cutlass
for that moment.
And then by the time that time rolled around for me, it was also the Impala. That Impala, Jesus Christ. And people used to try to flip it. People used to try to make that Caprice kind of like the Impala, but it's not the same, fam.
So
that
I had the Impala too.
That Impala is where I said, listen, we gotta hit our last break, man. When we come back from our last break, I'll tell you some more about some of these dope ass cars I used to absolutely love. Things I found iconic, whether they was in the streets or on movies, some of the classic hood cars of all time. This is I Say What I Said. His name is Tu. My name is Herb. We'll be right back.
WIIFTBPM.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
Boys, step aside. The Radio Rookie is in the building. The Book of Dawn, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. on What's In It for the Black People Media.
We fun guy. Where's tomorrow? Fun guy, what's up, baby? What it do, baby? Yeah, yo, what it do? You know what I'm saying? So I'll be telling you.
What's going on, Chicago? What's in it for the Black People Media presents?
I want to go higher. Oh my God.
Call your sons, call your daughters, call your friends, call your neighbors.
The Big Tuesdays and Thursdays, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. with Eugene McIntosh and Terrence Tomlin. We got what you need right here on What's in it for the Black People Media.
WIIFTBPM.
are live from the What's in It for the Black People Media Studios. This is I Said What I Said. Herb Howard alongside Tucson Warner, Sonia Escobar, the one and only, doing all the hard work behind the glass and keeping it vibing in here. The vibe is real, real good. Esco, you the best, man. Listen, man, make sure y'all get up tomorrow early with the Maze Jackson Show in the morning, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Hang out with Maze and Todd and Sonia and Ruthie.
No, Maze and Sonia and Ruthie and Todd.
You know what, Esco?
I thought you listened.
Hang out with them people anyway.
Them people.
Hang out with them people, man. The Maze Jackson Show in the morning. Then stick around, hang out with Dawn Millhouse and Lisa E. The Book of Dawn, 9 to 11 a.m. Stick around for the bigs later on in the afternoon. Salim Muwakil's World was earlier today. I Said What I Said. Shout out to Tennille Jackson, too, man. Minding My Own Black Business keeps getting better and better. That's on Saturdays. You can check that out, as well as Go Ladies. Stick around for all of the content here at What's in It for the Black People Media. I love the entire fam. Everybody is doing their thing. It's an absolute honor and a pleasure to work with you wonderful individuals. So make sure y'all check them out and stay tuned in to What's in It for the Black People Media, too. When I saw that 5.0 on Menace to Society, when Kane got the 5.0, he had the green joint. He ain't have no rims, so he robbed dude for the rims in the drive-thru, no less, right? And then he had the gold joints on it, and I was like, yo, that 5.0 is what I wanted. That moment right there, I fell in love with Mustangs, and I'm like, I want that car, right? And that was always one. The Impala was one. I still want an Impala. Like I've never had one, but I would still get one if I can find the right one. And for me, the perfect version of it is it's all blacked out, it's tinted, like it's raw. Like that's the Impala I want. What year was that Impala? What would that be, like 93? 96 Impala? Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. 96 Impala. That would be the one. That would be the one I wanted, man. That was the car for me. Even more so than like the Chevys and all that.
I had that. That joint was super powerful. G. I was scared to put it in reverse. G. I was scared to parallel park it because
it's long too.
You hit that gas, G.
It's gone.
It's very strong. You understand me? A lot of horsepower in that joint. But
you had all the hood dope boy cars.
I was a hood dope boy.
I had to have a uniform.
I am the genuine article. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I really wasn't that guy. No.
Statute of limitations is over. It's cool.
Yeah, I just was in the element a lot. You know but no, that's real. But it's funny, man.
RO Double say put you a light underneath it. She hood for real with it. Nah, you throw the light underneath that joint.
Salim said something here too. He says the NOI talked about affluent righteousness, and I was a member when I came from the East Coast. Thus, I had the shiny new deuce and a quarter.
Yeah, so 72 deuce.
Affluent righteousness, right? So with that speaks to that Muhammad Ali quote when they was like, "Do you drive a Rolls? You talk all this Black Power shit, but you drive a Rolls Royce?" And he was like, "No, I drive 2 Rolls Royces."
Get it right.
Right, and that reference point was because he knew internally that the people would not listen to him if he didn't look like the modicum of success.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that plays out in every arena that I've been in, even as a professional. You know, I remember one time, when I started my business, man, some of my first clients were like high-ranking politicians in the city of Chicago, right? And at this time, I'm broke, but I got a nice house. You know what I mean? But I didn't invest in cars. Like, I would invest in throwaway cars. Like, I ride a car for 6 months, that shit break down, I throw it away, go get another one. You know, I just had my first baby. You know, the world was on my ass. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to figure it all out. And I knew inherently that these politicians was making judgments on my value based on the vehicles I was showing up in, right?
Yeah.
It's a true story, right?
Yeah.
One of these politicians had owed me some money for a while, and it got to a point where I just, like, I ate that loss, and I was like, I just can't do it with this dude anymore, right? So he calls me, needed some more services, and I was like, man, I'm not doing shit for you.
You cooked.
You owe me bread. You know what I mean? It's a wrap. So he says, well, you know, let me drop the bread I owe off to you, and he comes by my house.
Sure.
Sees my crib and has a whole new understanding of who I am and starts to treat me differently.
In what way?
Even the conversations around numbers changed. There was not no back talk. There was no real negotiation. I come in there and command the kind of number I wanted. Right? And that's to the point that Salim is talking about, that righteousness.
I see what you're saying.
Now that I see you have XYZ things, I can now value you at XYZ levels. Right? And I play that game because I understand the math of the world that we in, but internally that shit don't mean nothing to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the nuance of what I'm talking about. Like, we got to find a way to maneuver through this capitalist system, but it cannot be our God.
Right.
You know, we laugh and we joke, but you know me for real.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a chance for me to ride my bike over drive my car, you ain't even got to ask what you doing.
Right, I'm already knowing.
You ain't even got to ask what you doing because two values that freedom that the bike gives me.
Right.
That exercise that the bike gives me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't mean I ain't got shit else,
Right.
but this is where I really find value.
Also, your bike is more expensive than some people's car.
But that's after time. It started off with a little $10 test fee.
I'm just saying though.
But it's still, I've invested in my hobby.
I'm just saying.
But it's just over time.
I'm just saying.
But even the price of the bike don't change it. I was riding the bike.
I'm just saying.
Oh, whatever, man. Y'all hate this. You get the point I'm making.
I'm with you 100%, man. People dropping a lot of dope cars in the comments too. I'm seeing the 64 Mustang, the Stingray, Corvette, Excalibur. Esco said the 79 MC. That MC was dope. Is that the year that Denzel had in Training Day that Lonzo was driving around?
Yeah.
The MC in Training Day was fire.
I don't know what year that was though.
I don't know.
I believe it's a 79.
Yeah, that joint was fire.
Ooh,
That's
sexy.
I never liked the MC.
My mama say the 1980 Z28 Camaro. That is a car she always loved.
Yeah, that was a big car in that time. I can see that. But I never liked the Z.
I'm thinking about Eddie Murphy not talking about fighting the little Italian man. Hey, go ahead and get your little IROC Z28 Camaro. Get the hell out of here. I'll kick your fucking ass. He was like, well, Eddie Murphy is one of the goats too, man. We are out of time, y'all. Thank y'all so very, very much for tuning in to this Monday edition of I Said What I Said. It means a whole lot to us that y'all chose to hang out with us the entire time. We appreciate each and every one of you. We got to get up out of here. Y'all make sure y'all have y'all a great evening. Wake up with the Maze Jackson Show tomorrow. We will see y'all back here tomorrow at 3 p.m. For Sonia Escobar, for Toussaint Warner. My name is Herb Howard. Y'all be good to each other. Peace.
Assalamu alaikum.